Ladies and gentlemen, it is the very first night of Marble Falls football. How many out there have been waiting for this night? I know I have. My name is Kirk Nowaker. On behalf of KBEY 103.9, this is game number one. Andy, who's sitting right next to me?
Andy Selman, and I'm so glad to be with you, Kirk.
It is a wonderful time of the year. I was talking on the air the other day. In fact, I think it was yesterday. This is my favorite time of the year. It's football season, and it's getting cooler. In a couple months, we're going to see some holidays coming, and I just absolutely love it. I said it's getting cooler. Sitting right in front of me right now, I am looking at the temperature here at Marble Falls Mustang Stadium. The temperature is 88 degrees, Andy, and I know all of us are loving that based on everything that we have gone through here in the last couple weeks.
Well, you know, Kirk, only in Texas can we say that 88 degrees is cool. Only in Texas will those two things be used in the same sentence. But, yes, it has been a bit cooler than the 106 degrees we've had over the last few weeks.
I absolutely love it. Obviously, for those of you out there, you know that we had a front come through. In fact, I'm looking at radar right now. That front was coming from the north, going to the south, and it is well south of us. We got clear skies. In fact, as I look out the window here, in
So this is a fresh game, fresh season, new storylines, so much to look at here.
You are absolutely right. And, you know, as we look, this is year 3 for Coach Timmerman. And as we look back at the 2024 season, the 2025 season, of course, in 2025, Marble Falls varsity football ended the season with an overall record of 3-7. But they were 0-4 in district, and they finished 5th in the district. And even though that record really didn't reflect the success that they wanted, well, they showed flashes of strong offensive production and competitive throughout the season. In fact, they scored 233 points throughout the year. But it was a really tough schedule, Andy.
Well, Kirk, I think that this year it's an opportunity to see, okay, what's the identity that has been established over the last couple of years and now coming into Coach Timmerman's third season. I know he's got very ingrained core values. Why don't you tell us about those, Kirk?
He really does, and as a parent of a Mustang athlete, not here at the high school but elsewhere, I love this. When I was talking to Coach, he said he has closed-hand beliefs, and he calls them the 4 pillars, and that is discipline, toughness, effort, and honor. And to be honest with you, he says those are non-negotiables. And as a parent, to me, that is just so important. I mean, I want my child, and I want our team and all these kids that have put in so much work. I want them to be successful on the ball field. But you know what? I kind of dig discipline, toughness, effort, and honor.
Well, those are things that'll play both on the field and in life, and so glad that he's instilling those into these young men out there on the field. And I'm interested to see, okay, what's their identity for this season gonna be built upon those pillars? How's their composure going to be in game one? Are we going to see clean football tonight, and who's going to win the first down?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this game starts. You know, doesn't always mean that whatever happens in game one, that's going to be reflective of what happens later in the season. In fact, if we look back at last year, well, Marble Falls started with a 48-0 road victory in Crockett, and I remember that game, and I remember walking out of the stadium thinking, man, we're going to state, it's going to be a great year. The good news, though, is that all that tells us is no matter what happens in game one, game two may be very, very different.
Yeah, I want to watch who settles in first tonight between our two teams and see how our quarterbacks and running backs especially just settle in. Thankfully it doesn't look like we got a whole lot of wind tonight, so maybe the passing game will actually be able to be a big part of the game plan.
Absolutely. I can tell you that when I was talking to the coach, I asked him about quarterbacks, and of course, we're talking about Crawford Maddox and Anderson Liscum, and I was like, hey, who's our starter? Well, he shared with me that we're going to see a lot of both of these players throughout the season. In fact, throughout this very first game against the Lions. He said that Anderson and Crawford, one of them is going to go ahead and play a couple different positions because they're talented like that. I almost feel like this might be a little bit of a litmus test. I mean, I think Coach Timmerman just wants to sit back and say, you know, how did we do with these guys? And maybe that'll kind of form and create that metric that he's looking for the rest of the year, or at least game 2.
Not only that, with Anderson and Crawford, just for this first game, really seeing we got a lot of two-way players in Mustang Nation this year. And so just looking at those players, seeing, okay, how is endurance, who's really shining on both sides of the ball. I'm just excited for this evening.
Well, we got a lot to look forward to. Of course, this is opening night again. Everybody, all of us have been waiting for this night. We're super excited. Just to give you a little background on the Marble Falls Mustang football team in the UIL, we are Conference 4A, District 1, Region 3, and District 12. Now, who's in District 12? Well, that, of course, is the Marble Falls Mustangs, your Burnett Bulldogs, Lampasas Badgers, and this is a little unusual, but the Gerald Cougars and the China Spring Cougars and the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. We got two teams with the same, well, we got two teams that are Cougars. That's pretty fascinating to me. I'm looking at the weather. We're still hovering right around 88 degrees. We got 8 minutes exactly, Andy, until we get a kickoff and we see what this team has in store for us and everybody out there listening on KBEY 103.9 or who are watching the live video stream that you can see right now if you were to log into KBEY 103.9. Okay, I'm sorry. Were you talking? I didn't hear. Roy? Oh, stream went off. All right. Dave's targeting. Thank you for the heads up on that. If you are out there and if you're listening to us, the stream, video stream, we seem to have a little bit of a behind us. So we are looking to the east, and right now everybody is getting set up. We got, Andy, I forgot to mention that this is middle school night here. So the middle school athletes, the football team, are going to be celebrated tonight before this game. This should be a little fun to watch.
Yeah, I think they're going to run out with the varsity team. I think that'd be pretty awesome to watch.
That is very cool. And, of course, this, means a little extra to me because my boy, TJ, he plays for the middle school, and he's been super excited about, well, he always loves coming to the high school games, but, of course, he's going to be out there. And, Mustang Nation is one nation. Yeah, it's the high school, but Mustang fandom and Mustang family, well, it goes across all 3 levels of education, and we love that. So right now we got the, looks like the band is getting set up, and they're going to go ahead and play some music here. Right on that track line, just around the field, I am looking down there, and of course we are at the very top row of the bleachers here on the home side, and I don't know how many rows there are here. I'm looking down. It looks like about 39, 40 rows. So we're pretty high up. We got a really, really good view, but we see all the kids out there that, and this would be the middle school. They're wearing their jerseys, and they're all kind of lined up. As they do that, I'm looking on the far side of the field, and it looks like one of the teams, yeah, that would be Lockhart Lions. The team is coming out of the dressing room, and they are staging themselves right next to that Lockhart Lion inflatable, which is really cool. It's just got this lion with his mouth open. He looks pretty angry, but you know what? I'm going to say that our Mustang looks a little bit angrier, and I'm okay with that. I dig that, Andy.
You know, Mustangs can outrun lions. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, you're right. In fact, we talk about our Mustangs. Mustangs just stepped out of the locker room. In fact, as they walk towards that Mustang inflatable, that beautiful purple and gold, I see the Texas flag, I see an American flag, and we got a row of players walking out, and they are staging themselves right inside that inflatable Mustang. Again, a beautiful evening here. I just checked the temperature, still sitting at 88 degrees right now.
Perfect night for football.
It sure is. Very nice. There we go. Across the field, looks like the little bit of warm-ups going on for Lockhart. Of course, they were out here about 20 to 30 minutes ago doing some warm-ups on the field, and well, right now they're bouncing around, and while they bounce around, our team is sitting right there inside that inflatable. They got the flags ready. I suspect we got some coaches up front there, and they are ready to run out to the field in anticipation, this crowd, and we got a great turnout for opening night. Yeah, so it looks like we're getting ready to go. Everybody's ready. I mean, look, I'm ready. Andy's ready. Everybody here in the stands, we got about half the crowd standing up, and they're ready to get this thing kicked off.
You can just feel the anticipation building.
Everybody's got their cell phones up. In fact, I got a really good view of somebody's cell phone, and she's got it zoomed in right to the front of that Mustang with, right now, at least closest to us, we got that Texas flag blowing in the wind. Earlier, speaking of the wind, it was pretty darn windy, but right now the wind looks like it's settled down. Of course, I'm sure that front passing us is making things a little bit better. As I look across the way, as we wait for everything to get started, I'm looking at our visitor bleachers, and I'm going to say the visitor bleachers, they got maybe 1/5 of the bleachers is filled, and look, that's okay because I know Lockhart traveled a good ways. Of course, they are just south of Austin. The Lockhart Lions. We were talking to the broadcast team for Lockhart earlier. They have high expectations for this year, just as we do. Of course, as I mentioned before, Coach Timmerman is in his 3rd year with the Marble Falls Mustangs. First 2 years, he improved our team. Year 2, he improved our team, and I think we have every reason to expect that we can see the same thing in year 3.
Absolutely agree. We're about a minute 45 away from go time.
We're ready. And, of course, we're looking, you know how we know that? We're looking at this beautiful scoreboard, this colorful scoreboard right on the north side of the field. All right, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio. We're going to take a real quick break before we get things started. So from Kirk and Andy, thanks for listening to 103.9. We'll be back here momentarily.
Okay.
What were you showing me earlier?
So they're saying that you call when we're taking the commercial break.
Stadium in the years ahead.
Well, you know, it's amazing. We get to be in such a special town, Marble Falls, and there really is just a family environment and community feel that we get to be a part of. And so they're just growing up itching to get onto this field, aren't they?
They are. And, you know, you said family and faith. In fact, this is one thing that as a parent, and I know so many of us out there love the fact that our kids and Coach Timmerman gathers the kids on the north side of the field. They all took a knee. They said a prayer. Of course, you know, that prayer is that everybody remains safe, that we have a good, enjoyable time. And I love that component of what we're doing here.
Me too. You know,
And we are, looks like, there we go. We got our team captains lining up on the line. They're getting ready to come on out and meet those 4 captains of the Lockhart Lions. In fact, Marble Falls, they do something that's a little different. A lot of schools don't do it. But as the team captains walk out to that Mustang logo looking prominent and beautiful in the middle of the field, well, the entire Marble Falls team takes about 5 steps forward. They are arms interlocked. They are showing this team over there that, hey, we are the Marble Falls Mustangs. We are one. And I absolutely love that about this team. And again, this mindset, this mentality that Coach Timmerman brings to this community.
yeah, and captain's out on the field for the coin flip. We've got number 3, Arnolfo Salazar. We've got number 5, Crawford Maddox. We've got number 9, Branson Bunting. And we've got number 58, Madden Hernandez. And it looks like the coin toss was completed.
Yeah, so right now the Marble Falls Mustangs are going to be taking the ball to the north end of the field. Lockhart is going to the south end of the field. As we sit in this stadium, that would be Marble Falls moving to our left and Lockhart moving to our right. I didn't exactly see who won that flip. Did you catch that, Andy?
I didn't.
Okay, well, we're going to find out here very shortly. I know that. Officials are all going to the middle of the field, and they're gathering and they're talking. I'm sure they're, you know, just as excited for this very first game this year. Mustangs have returned to the sidelines.
Would you please stand for a moment of silence for all of our first responders?
And right now the Marble Falls Mustangs are recognizing all of our first responders. They're all in a line. Everybody is looking at our flags, and we're going to have a moment of silence, and we're going to join along too. Gotcha.
If it's on, then I can hear you over here.
Our students, our players, our community, not only our community, but the Lockhart community, everybody right now just wrapped up that moment of silence for our first responders here locally. The national anthem is being played, and everybody's clapping. I'm telling you, man, this is what's beautiful. Andy, tell me I'm wrong. This is what's beautiful about small town life. We love that flag. We love our family. We love Faith. I'm telling you, man, I'm ready. Can you tell I'm jacked?
I can.
I've been thinking about this all day long, man. I'm like, come on, I'm ready for kickoff.
And you know what else we love? Football.
Absolutely. And, folks, we are at that time. But before we get to the kickoff, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for a real quick break. All right, welcome back to Marble Falls Stadium here. Game 1, Marble Falls Mustangs versus the Lockhart Lions. Teams have taken the field. We're getting ready for a kickoff. Again, as I said earlier, the way we're looking at it here, we are facing to the east. So Marble Falls is on our right. They are ready to receive the ball. Lockhart is kicking from left to right. The kicker takes a step back. Marble Falls is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 Game 1 has officially begun. We got a kickoff. In fact, a great kickoff sends it all the way back about 3 yards into that end zone. We're going to go ahead and get that ball here at the 20 and get things going.
That kicker's got quite a leg.
Yeah, he does. That was impressive. The official gets the ball, the offense. Look, I'm telling you, and I said the 20, my bad. The 25-yard line. I bet you the players out there are so eager to get out there. Coach has them all lined up, going over some last-minute details. They break that huddle, and they go out to take the position. In fact, that was their first huddle. They didn't go out to the field to start a huddle. They went directly to their positions.
And it looks like we've got Crawford Maddox under center.
Absolutely. Crawford set himself up in a shotgun formation. He takes the snap, hands off to the backfield. Hey, a wonderful start to the game. In fact, we picked up about 11. That was handed off. Real big gap inside the middle there. I'm trying to.
Hudson Sailors.
Awesome. Great job, Hudson. Quick formation again. They skip the huddle. They are going to go ahead and play fast. Once again, quarterback takes the snap, passes it out to the far side of the field. Pass is complete at the 40, and brought down at the 46, almost a first down. It looks like it's going to be 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2. Again, a quick formation for Marble Falls. Again, left to right, the snap. He does a fake pass to the bottom side, and Marble Falls picks up the first down. Again, another run. Marble Falls is imposing their will, and they are not giving Lockhart an opportunity, Andy, to set up a defense.
They are not. It looks like their strategy is to keep them back on their heels.
And so far it has worked. Right now it is 1st and 10. Marble Falls at the Lockhart. Looks like that's at the 45.
Yes, it does. Couple of really good runs by Hudson Sailors.
Again, another handoff. I think that's Hudson again. He picks up 5, maybe 6 yards before he's brought down by Lockhart. That's going to make it picks up 6 yards. That's going to make it 2nd down and 4. 10:30 right now is the clock. Marble Falls has got this off to a quick start. Again, another quick snap and an incompletion. That pass was intended. It was down at it looked like that was going to be a tight end. Pass was just a little overthrown, so that makes it 3rd and 4.
Well, it seems to be there. Marble Falls are setting the edge really well because Hudson's been able to bounce it out a couple of times.
And I'm not sure I've seen one Lockhart defender in that backfield. Kudos to that offensive line. So far, things are going well. Players are all set up at the line. Things have slowed down a little bit to give them a break. They're looking at the sideline for the play. And, again, shotgun. Fake the quarterback keep, hands off, and it looks like I think we just picked up another first down, a pickup of about 6, maybe 5, 6 yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 Marble Falls at the Lockhart 38-yard line.
That looked like, again, Hudson, and he's just running with authority right now.
This is old school smash mouth football right now. Marble Falls, so far is imposing their will against these Lockhart Lions. Anderson back in that shotgun formation. Yep, he is back there, and once again, it was a fake handoff, and it's an interception to a Lockhart defender, and he takes it all the way to the Marble Falls 45-yard line. That's going to make it Lockhart 1st and 10. That was a timing pass, and it looks like the defender, well, he jumped in a lane that nobody expected that somebody could be in that position, Andy.
He sure did. He sure did. What a great drive, though. First drive, lots of momentum. Running game really looked established. We were able to use the play action off of that, so a lot of good things.
I agree. And I'm sure the coaches are saying, hey, look, we did what we wanted to do. Yeah, we had a mistake, but we did what we wanted to do. I guarantee you the next time they go out there, these boys are going out there with a lot of confidence. All right, well, here we are, Lockhart, 1st and 10 at the Marble Falls 45, their very first possession of the game. The quarterback takes the pass, and that is an incomplete pass. Looks like it might have been a little overthrown. Great coverage there. I think that's number 33.
Clayton Thompson, and he was right on that.
Excellent. He was on that. He fit that receiver like a glove. I believe that pass was going to the big tight end on the far side of the field at the end of that line there. Lockhart steps back, and they're in their huddle. Marble Falls defenders are back. It looks like they are in a 4-3 defense. Yep, a 4-3-4. Very good. Lockhart sets up as a shotgun, and the snap, and it's a handoff. And let me tell you, a wave of purple crossed across that line, and Lockhart was dropped for a loss on that handoff.
That was a little run-pass option there, and the quarterback he didn't make the right decision there.
It didn't look like it, and I'm not even sure if he made the right decision, if he had a shot, because that defensive line penetrated. I mean, it almost looks like everybody shot the gap, because right as that ball was snapped, there was 3 to 4 defenders already across that line. That was tough. I'm not sure anybody could have handled that, but here we are. It's Lockhart now. They looks like it's going to be about, I'm trying to look at the board here. 3rd and 19, maybe. Another handoff. Defender takes it. Oh, he found a gap, and he has a wide open path all the way to the end zone, and that is a touchdown Lockhart on a run right around the end, which would have been our side of the field. Lockhart is on the board first. We have our very first score of this 2026 season. Well, unfortunately, it was Lockhart. They are setting up for the extra point. 8:40 left in this game.
They were getting nothing up the middle, and it looked like they just did a little pitch to the side and found a lane there.
And what a good adjustment for the coaches on that Lockhart team, because they weren't. The middle is tight. Kick is up. The kick is good. Lockhart 7, Marble Falls nothing. Teams are going to regroup. We're going to get the ball back, and I bet you our boys go out there with a lot of confidence. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and send this back to the studio. You're listening to KBEY 103.9 Mustang Football. I need our sponsors. Let me see. IBC. 7-0 Lockhart Lions over the Marble Falls Mustangs. Mustangs are getting the ball for their second possession of the game. Lockhart just did an end-around run for, oh my goodness, it was about 59 yards for a touchdown. Lockhart kicks the ball. This one is going to fall back into the end zone, but it's being run out right up the middle, and let me tell you, that's a wide lane. He still has it. I see a flag thrown on the far side of the field. Marble Falls runs it back to the 34-yard line. Let's see what this flag is all about. The officials are meeting in the middle of the field. I'm sure everybody's like, it looks like we got a hold against the Marble Falls Mustangs. They're going to go ahead and walk this one back.
Looked like there were a couple of flags out there too, but a really good run back.
A great run. I agree, Andy. That was a great run back. That middle of the field was wide open. My goodness, as the Mustang possessions are going to continue to add up, so far we are running the ball very well. Special teams on the offense. I'm curious to see what Coach Timmerman and his offensive team is going to do. What is the strategy moving forward? The officials have marked that off, by the way, and it looks like it's going to be Marble Falls 1st and 10 from their very own 7-yard line. Mustangs just broke from that huddle on the side of the formation. They run out. They've run out directly to that to the line, to their in formation. They didn't huddle out there in the field. They're ready to go. This is exactly what they did on their very first possession to start off the game. Looks like Anderson again. He's in that shotgun. Does another handoff. The run is right up the middle. Can't really see who that run was, but the ball looks like it was run to about the 8, which is going to make it 2nd and 6, maybe 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Marble Falls again goes with that quick. They forego the huddle. Anderson's looking over to the sideline. There's a lot of hand and arm signals going on out there. He's taking the play that way, and I love this. It's keeping Lockhart on their toes. It was a handoff, real quick handoff to the end. The runner was tripped up at the line. It looks like he might have picked up one.
Yep, Diego Aguilar.
Well, of course, all of us here are familiar with that Aguilar name because, of course, his older brother went down and is playing ball down there just outside of San Antonio at the college level. Marble Falls, real quick, they go out there. They're back in that formation. Official right now is giving players the time for Lockhart to get off the field, had his hands up. All right, he just called and said, we're ready to go. Mustang offense. Set up. We got 3 receivers split wide. It was a handoff right up the middle. That ball is at the 15, maybe 16-yard line. Let's see where they marked that. It was a good handoff. Another good run. Marble Falls is running the ball well. Now, it does look like Lockhart has made some adjustments to plug some of those holes up the middle. It's not as wide open as it was in that very first possession.
But number 20, Diego Aguilar, is running hard, though.
He is running hard. In fact, after that very first hit, he was still on his feet, and he was doing everything he can to pick up some extra yards. Looks like we have a timeout right now. Marble Falls is regrouping. We're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for another station break. At the Marble Falls Stadium, the Marble Falls Mustangs broke out of that timeout. They quickly get set up on the line. We got 2 receivers far side of the field, 1 man in motion. A bad snap that goes way over the head of our quarterback and trickles out the end of the end zone.
Looked like they were punting on fourth
That
down there.
that was absolutely a punt effort, and the snap didn't do exactly what they wanted it to do. It went way over the punter's head.
So that's a safety.
That is a safety. That makes it the Lockhart Lions 9, the Marble Falls Mustang 0, 6:47 left in this first quarter. What kind of adjustments do you think we need to make, Andy?
Well, our run game is looking really good. A lot of strength there up the middle, but I think now that Lockhart's adjusted, we're going to have to do some play action. We're going to have to push the defenders back off a bit.
I agree. And we got a couple, mistakes here, essentially unforced errors, and there's been a consequence to them. So, of course, this all comes down to fundamentals. We know the coaches have been preaching that so far, in this very short early season of the football season. Of course, Marble Falls now, after that safety, they're getting ready to go ahead and launch that ball to the Lockhart Lions. Lockhart has receivers as far back at the 10. Marble Falls has that ball set up at the 20. And we are getting ready to go. 6:47 on the clock again. Lockhart Lions 9, Marble Falls Mustang 0. We got the band going in the background. They're trying to get everybody fired up. We got a kick. Kick's a little short. It was taken down at the 34, received at the 34-yard line by the Lockhart Lions. He wouldn't have been able to go anywhere anyways because those Marble Falls Mustangs got down to that field. And, he wasn't going to get anywhere. He called a fair catch. So right now the teams are gathering at each respective side of the field. It is going to be Lockhart ball. Let's see what they do. They had a hard time doing anything up the middle. Marble Falls had that clogged up pretty well, Andy. Let's see if they continue that, if they start playing towards the sidelines.
Yeah, Marble Falls Mustangs really need to set the edge a little bit on this drive and not let that running back get outside again.
Looking at our setup, we're back in a 4-3-4. Looks like officials are, okay, here we go. The Lockhart Lions are set up in a shotgun set. One defender jumped over line, and there is the flag. Somebody went off sides, and the ball was intercepted by a Marble Falls Mustang at the Marble Falls 44, but there is a flag on the field. Let's see what that's about. I'm a little concerned that we may have had somebody offsides a little quickly there, Andy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. However, I liked what I saw from the defensive back there. He had great ball instincts.
He did, and he caught that over the shoulder. His back, as he was backtracking, his back was to the quarterback, so he was looking over his shoulder. A phenomenal catch. And again, it's little plays like that that give these guys the confidence to say, you know what, I think I'm on my game tonight, and we can do something good.
And Kirk, I'm loving the energy that I'm seeing from Marble Falls tonight. Just a couple of unforced errors.
I agree. Well, here we go. We're at the quarterback sets up in the shotgun for Lockhart. It's a handoff right up the middle. There is a wide open lane. In fact, that Lockhart Lion ran the ball to the 52-yard line. That is a first down. That is hold on. We may have had a fumble, and it looks like Marble Falls football. I haven't seen an official ruling yet. I'm looking at the reaction from the Marble Falls side. I'm having a hard time seeing what's going on. It looks like that the play may have been called dead before that ball was forced loose. But you know what? You just said that, these small victories right here, somebody did something to jar that ball loose. Yeah, it didn't happen just in the time here, but Marble Falls is fighting, and they're fighting hard. Lockhart Lions. There we go. We got a flag on the play. Lockhart Lions were lined up. It looks like
false start on 67.
It looks like it is a false start on the Lions. Yep, that's what he called. They're going ahead and marking off those 5 yards. The ball right now is at Lockhart's 46-yard line.
Well, now we're behind. We're ahead of schedule. The Mustangs are. The Lions are behind schedule now, so opportunity for us to get a stop here.
Lockhart Lions. First down and 14. After that penalty, the pass to the near sideline. The pass is caught, and boy, we talk about some yards run after that catch. Lockhart Lions take it all the way down to the 47-yard line. Well, that's one good way to negate a penalty or a false start.
Sure is. And if I'm not mistaken, number 2 was also the touchdown runner. So he is bringing something for the Lockhart Lions.
First and 10 at the Marble Falls 47 Lockhart. Quarterback, again, stays in that shotgun formation. He's got 2 receivers on the near, 1 at the far. The snap is a direct snap to the running back, but Marble Falls didn't, they weren't fooled by that. That might have been a pickup of 1 or 2 yards. Let's see where they mark it. That's going to make it second. Looks like they gave him maybe 3 yards, so that'll make it second and 7.
Great takedown by number 7, Christian Cervantes.
And they were on their toes. That's what I like. I mean, that was a direct snap. You don't see that very often. And you see it more and more over the past few years, but a direct snap generally designed to keep that defense off the timing, and Marble Falls was ready for it. Lions, again, 2 receivers up high, 1 close end of the field, the snap in a shotgun. Quarterback's passing. He's passing down the middle of the field. He's got a Lockhart Lion there. No flag. Great defense. I can't see his number there, Andy.
Number 24, Felix Padilla.
Way to go, Felix. He was on him again like a glove. That was a long pass. In fact, the wide receiver for the Lions looked like he actually broke free, and Felix quickly closed that gap and prevented a catch. That's going to make it 3rd and 7 for the Lockhart Lions. They're taking I don't want to say taking a break, but they're in a huddle. Everybody's looking over to the sideline to see what they're going to do. Obviously, they're in a field position here that the 30, that 3rd and 7, they're going to do what they can to get a first down. But Marble Falls, again, remains in that 4-3-4. Nobody deep. We got 2 safeties just about 10 yards off the line. There's oh my goodness, and look at that. The quarterback was almost sacked for Lockhart, but he got the pass off to number 1 of Lockhart down towards the 15-yard line of Marble Falls, and he was able to bring it in. That was a desperation pass. Not saying that he didn't intend it for that receiver, but he got it off just in time because we were about to record a sack in the backfield.
Yeah, number 4, Jesus Rodriguez, and number 7, Christian Cervantes, both had their hands on the quarterback.
Well, again, we take these small victories. Marble Falls defense is penetrating that offensive line for Lockhart, and they're getting to the quarterback. They're getting to the running back. There's the snap for Lockhart. It is a handoff right up the middle. And what did I just say? That Marble Falls defense, that defensive line is really closing things up in the middle of the field, and they stop them. That might have been a loss of 1.
I can't tell you who made the tackle because everybody did.
Everybody. We can go ahead and credit the entire team for that stat.
We're looking very stout up the middle.
We are. We got to make sure nothing gets around the end. That's what happened earlier. Marble Falls defense was looking super strong, and next thing you know, somebody runs around the end. Marble Falls was unable to contain that runner into the middle. As long as we can contain things in the middle, so far Marble Falls has had great success on that defensive line and those backs.
We made a last-minute substitution there.
We remain in a 4-3-4 defense. Shotgun snap to the Lions quarterback. It's a handoff. Crossed over the 15 to the 14. Lockhart. Yep, it is at the 14-yard line. I'm having a hard time seeing. You can hand me those right there. Thank you, sir. But it is 3rd down. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 10.
That was a great tackle by number 3, Salazar.
3rd and 9 to go. Again, the ball is at the 14. 2:47 left so far in this very first quarter. There is the snap, shotgun snap to the quarterback. It's a handoff. And we got several Marble Falls Mustangs on that runner. It took a little bit to get them down, but I'm going to say that tackle was probably taken care of by 3 or 4 defenders. And Andy, what were we saying? We needed to watch the end. We needed to watch the end, and that's exactly what Marble Falls did. Lockhart was hoping that they could go ahead and turn that corner, and we shut it down. Great job, Marble Falls Mustangs.
And wow, I am really impressed with number 7 tonight, Christian Cervantes. His motor he came all the way from the other side of the defensive line to be in the middle of that tackle.
Great job, Christian. Now Lockhart is setting up for a field goal. The ball right now is, the line of scrimmage is the 18. The kick is going to be launched from the 25 there. Oh, looks like the snap was made, but looks like the play was called dead. I don't see, I don't see any fabric on the ground. I see nothing yellow.
Oh,
but they're walking it back. Looks like that might have been a false start.
Definitely looks like a false start. And while they're getting reset up, Kirk, I'm super impressed with how we've shut down some of the stretch option.
I really am. And Marble Falls is making the adjustments they need to make. And here is the kick is up. It looks like it might be wide left, and it is wide left. So Lockhart with a missed field goal. That was going to be a 37-yard field goal, I believe, and that was missed. He had the distance, but it just went wide left. Marble Falls is going to go ahead and get the ball. Looks like they're getting the ball from the 23-yard line. Look, we've seen our offense have some success so far in this game. Take away an error or two, and Marble Falls is right in this. So far, I mean, the score says one thing, but right now we got 2 very evenly matched teams from what I see out here. Teams come back out onto the field. Marble Falls Mustangs are set in their formation. Again, a shotgun. We got 2 wide receivers up towards the far sideline. It's a snap, handoff to, again, number 8. And he does a 360. He was touched first in the backfield, and he broke away, but it looks like he might have gotten him back up to the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly where that ball is marked. That's going to make it 2nd and 10. We're down to 1:25 in this first quarter. Again, if you're just joining us, the Lockhart Lions 9, Marble Falls Mustangs 0. Don't be fooled by that score. This has been a very well-played game. Mustangs are in their formation. We got 2 receivers, 1 in motion, and Anderson takes it. Oh, phenomenal drop pass right in front. It looks like, again, that is to, who was that? Well, the ball was a very short dump pass up to the 30.
To number 8, Hudson Sailors.
Yep, and Hudson's had a really strong game so far. Again, Marble Falls with that really quick hurry-up offense. The ball is placed at the 29-yard line. 2 receivers on the far, 1 near. Anderson takes a break, looks to the sideline. We might be making a last-minute adjustment on the play. 30 seconds left on the clock here in the very first quarter. The shotgun snap. It's a handoff once again to Hudson. Hudson, I think I saw the ball come out, and it looks like it did. The officials are saying this is Lockhart ball. That would be a turnover. He was fighting so hard all the way through, and, well, the ball looks like it was just punched out. In fact, I don't think it ever hit the ground. I think it was punched out and picked up right out of the air by that Lockhart defender.
Hudson was running. He had the first down, and he saw a lot of green space in front of him.
You are absolutely right. I think he was looking towards the end zone, and we don't blame him because I was looking at the end zone too. All right, well, let's see what Lockhart does. There's only 15 seconds on the clock. They just may take a knee, and let's end the first quarter. They've had a pretty good first quarter. They're up 9-0. We certainly appreciate IBC Bank for being one of the sponsors of this broadcast for KBEY 103.9. Lockhart is going with a shotgun. I think they want more. Quarterback set up. 3 receivers on the top side of the field. Quarterback takes the snap. He goes for a pass. Looks like the ball might have hit the ground. The pass was only 5 yards up at the 40. That is an incomplete pass. I'm looking at the clock at we got 10 seconds left, so they were able to save some time on that clock, only ate up 5 seconds. Lions fall into they fell into a huddle, but it was a really quick break. Marble Falls is in, again, they remain in that 4-man front on the defense. Lockhart quarterback is in a shotgun. There's the snap. It's a handoff to the single back in the field, and he picks up some yards. Looks like he picked up about 8 yards right up the middle. That takes, I'm showing the clock at 0. I think the officials are saying that is the end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter here at Marble Falls Mustang football. Lockhart Lions 9, the Marble Falls Mustangs 0. We are going to start the second quarter here shortly. You are listening to Mustang football on KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Marble Falls Mustangs. The Lockhart Lions took the snap at the 40, handed it off to the backfield, and it looks like they had a pretty good run smack dab up the middle of Marble Falls, of that Marble Falls defense. The ball is placed down at the 25 of the Marble Falls end zone.
Chains moved, and it's a first down.
1st and 10. Again, just started the second quarter. 11:30 left in the second quarter. Lions offense sets up with, again, they've been doing the shotgun snap every time. It's a handoff to the one lone back. He hits the line of scrimmage, and he is met there by several Marble Falls Mustang defenders. Flag is thrown on the play. Let's see what that's all about. If it's on them, well, they didn't get anything anyways. They just got it right back up to the line of scrimmage.
Number 3, Arnolfo Salazar, just stood him right up.
Absolutely, and that was against the Lockhart Lions. The officials are moving it back. I didn't see that's at 10 yards. So that makes it 1st and 20, 11:15 on the clock. Again, Lockhart Lions 9, your Mustangs 0. Lions break from the huddle. Marble Falls, again, remains in that 4-3-4. However, one of those backs is cheating up a little bit. So it looks like we got 4 on the front and 1 step behind 5. Marble Falls, it's a pass down there to the near side of the sideline, caught by number 1 of Lockhart. The defenders get there, but they ate up a big chunk of what they needed on there. Looks like that ball is going to be spotted at the 22. It's going to make it... I'm looking for, that's going to make it 2nd and 6, I believe. 2nd and 8 to go.
Our defensive backs are playing pretty far off. That looked like a one-read pass where the quarterback was just zeroed in on Lockhart, number 1.
It took us a second to get there, but once we got there, we were able to stop him. As soon as he caught the ball, he tried to turn. There was nowhere to go because he was met by a bunch of purple jerseys. Lockhart breaks from their huddle. There's the shotgun snap. It's a pass across the middle, and that pass is caught. It looked like Marble Falls was going to go ahead and pick that off, but right behind him was a Lockhart receiver right in the end zone, and that is 6 more points for those Lockhart Lions. Right now we're sitting at Lockhart 15, Mustangs 0. Oh, that one was tough to look at. That was a beautiful loft pass right up the middle, and it looked like that was a wide receiver who just came out of nowhere and plucked that ball from the air. It looks like he almost plucked it right from the hands of our defender.
Well, you know what they say. My dad always told me it's a game of inches, and that was an inch from an interception.
You're absolutely right. We talk about a game of inches. I don't know if that was a muff snap, but on the extra point attempt, the holder stood up, and I don't think it was a trick. I think it might have been a rough snap, but Marble Falls adjusted very quickly. The holder tried to make a pass, and it hit the ground very quickly because of that Mustang defense. All right, well, this is a good time to send it back to the studio for a break. You're listening to KBEY 103.9. All right, well, the Marble Falls Mustangs are sitting with, 0, Lockhart 15. They're not the only teams right now that are kind of struggling to start things off. The Cowboys had everything tied in their game right now in the first quarter, but they are down 10-3 for all of you Dallas Cowboy fans out there. But back here to Marble Falls, Lockhart Lions kick the ball from the 40. It's a very high kick, but a relatively short kick. Marble Falls receiver actually is caught at the 21-22. It's going to be first down, Mustang football.
You know, the good news is it's still a two-score game. 15 points. That's 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions.
We can do it. Marble Falls, I'm telling you, they have shown all kinds of life, and they've shown a lot of fight. Their heads are in the game. I've seen absolutely no quit. These kids have a lot of confidence, and I think they have a lot of reason to have confidence because we've seen some really good runs. The defense is keeping them in the game. This offense, I feel like we may very well put something on the board here very soon. At least that's what I'm hoping, Andy.
Yeah, I totally agree, Kirk. I'm liking what I'm seeing. We're just a few unforced errors away from a tight game.
Mustangs break from their huddle on the sideline. It is 1st and 10. Again, the Mustangs are taking the ball at the 25-yard line. They're at their very own 25-yard line. Shotgun snap. It is a fake handoff. And pass was going to the receiver on the far side of the sideline. I don't see his name there.
Number 6, Gage Coleman.
He caught it, and then that Lockhart defender took it right out of his hands, knocked it to the ground. That's going to make 2nd and 10 for your Mustangs.
That was close. I thought Gage was going to run with a lot of green space in front of him.
And that's exactly what was in front of him. I didn't see any Lockhart defenders there. Marble Falls, just go ahead and drop 3 off the far side of the field, bring them down to the forward. We have 4 receivers. It's a pass to the backfield. Taken, and it really doesn't go too far. The pass was completed in the backfield, and we were able to get it up to the line of scrimmage. Again, number 8.
Hudson Sailors has been getting a lot of action tonight.
And he's been solid. I feel like we're just a break away from Hudson doing something big here. We're accomplishing what we need to accomplish. The Lockhart Lions are adjusting very effectively so far.
So we got a 3rd down here, Kirk. What are we thinking?
I think we're going to look, he faked the handoff, and we're going to go for a pass right up the middle, and nobody was there. It looked like that might have been a miscommunication. Anderson was throwing the ball towards the middle, and I believe the intended receiver actually stopped in his track. I think he might have been expecting something different. But that is going to make it 4th and 10. Marble Falls from their very own 25. The punt team goes out. Lockhart drops 1 receiver. He's set up at the Lockhart 40. Marble Falls getting ready to go ahead and punt this ball. Last time we had a punt, we had a rough snap, so let's get a good snap here. They heard me. Good snap. We got the punt off. It's a line drive punt directly to the receiver. He catches it. That ball never really got over 20 feet, but it was all the way to the 40. Marble Falls Mustangs. You know, it's scary when it's a line drive because the defenders don't always have an opportunity to get down there to stop them.
Great team tackle there, though. The Mustangs were on it, and he didn't gain much.
He didn't get much. In fact, it looked like he picked up just under 10 yards on that, making it 1st and 10, Lion football. 10:25 to go in this second quarter. Again, Lions 15, Mustangs nothing. KBEY Radio and Mustang Football would also like to thank Pedernales Electric for sponsoring. As a title underwriter, we appreciate it. Marble Falls appreciates it. And we hope you appreciate it out there. We are streaming this game live on KBEY 103.9 and the Daily Trib. Lockhart is set. Again, we're sticking to this shotgun formation. The snap. It is a pass over to the side. In fact, it was caught in the backfield, and quickly 3 Marble Falls Mustangs on there with the takedown. In fact, was that number 2 right there?
It looked like number 3 to me, Arnolfo Salazar. He is having a great game so far.
How many times have we called his name so far, Andy? Several.
There was a lot of wide open space there, but Salazar just closed the gap very quickly.
He really did. That's going to make it, well, that's 2nd down and 14 to go. The ball is at the Lockhart 46. Again, they are going from our right to the left. There's the snap. Lockhart takes it. There's a pass, and that pass is completed at the 40, and he stays on his feet. He's hit several times, stayed on his feet, and it took about 4 Mustang defenders to bring him down at the 44, maybe the 43, but that's enough for a 1st down.
Lockhart seems to really love kind of the 3 and 4 wide sets and spreading the field out.
Well, and I think in part because that middle, the Mustang defense is clogging the middle very well. Seems like a lot of Lockhart's success has been on the far and near sideline. There's the snap. It looks like it was a fake. It was a fake handoff, and that is a completed pass to the Lockhart wide receiver, and he had nothing but green all the way for a Lockhart touchdown.
That was quite a slot run by Lockhart number 4. All right, time for the Mustangs to regroup a bit.
Yep. I think the coaching staff, in fact, we're still far from the half, 8:58 left in this second quarter. Someone's going to have to go ahead and hit a reset button. Let's refocus, and we got to find a way to stop these Lockhart Lions. They are setting up for the extra point. Right now it's 21-0. There's the snap. The kick is up. Very high kick, and it was right through the middle. The officials say that was good. We are sitting at 22 for the Lockhart Lions. Mustangs have yet to get on the board. They've been close a couple times, but they have yet to get on the board. 8:58 left. We're going to go ahead and take a break, send it back to the studio. You're listening to KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Mustang Stadium. Lockhart Lions just scored a touchdown. We just had the kickoff. Marble Falls receives it at the 9-yard line. being run back. A really good zigzag there. He's got some open green, and it looks like it might have been the kicker that knocked him out on the near sideline, but not before he picked up, I'm going to say 39 yards, taking it to the 43.
It's our guy again, number 8, Hudson Saylor.
Everybody jump on Hudson's back because we're going to ride his coattails. He's doing a great job. What a wonderful start to the season for Hudson.
He's got really great vision. I've just noticed his ability to wait for the hole to open, and he did that both in his runs and on this kickoff.
And that's why we saw the zigzag, because that hole wouldn't have been there if he didn't stop and pivot and move. Great job, Hudson. Well, that's making it Marble Falls. In fact, I think they actually might have been. No, we're at the 49. Marble Falls 1st and 10. 8:49 left in the second quarter. We need a spark. That was a good play. I'm thinking that might have been a spark. Let's see how Marble Falls hands that.
And we've got number 20, Diego Aguilar, in the backfield.
And there is the snap. It's a pass to the quarterback, thrown to the near side to the wide receiver. A pickup of a little bit. Let's see here. The official puts it at the 48 of the Lockhart. Yep, at the Lockhart 48.
Great catch by number 11, Greg Culver.
Marble Falls has kind of slowed down a little bit. It's 2nd and 2nd. Snap, fake pass, and it was a real quick handoff. Ball was just moved about, maybe advanced 1 yard up to the 40 of Lockhart.
And that's going to move the chains, though. First down.
Good job. I thought it was 1, and they must have picked up 2. That is a first down. Look, we're going to take every small victory we can get. We're good with a first down. Marble Falls regroups quickly. They are already in their formation. There's the snap. It's a handoff. The handoff is met by a wall of Lion defenders right up the middle.
Manages to get what looks like 2. Number 8, Hudson Sailors.
There you go. There's Hudson again. 2nd and 8. Ball is on the 38. Marble Falls makes a substitution. Everybody's looking towards the sideline. I talked about those hand and arm signals earlier in the game. There they go. They got the signal. They're ready to go.
3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back.
There's the snap. Anderson drops back, passes to a receiver who does a really quick picket, and he's hit about 7 times before he is taken down to the ground. It looks like the ball may have been loose, but I'm not sure that the play hadn't already been ruled, or that he hadn't been ruled down, and that ball's going to stay with Marble Falls. Almost a fumble there.
Number 11, Greg Culver fighting for yards. Number 52, Judah Neve, got on top of that fumble and kept Marble Falls ball.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. Ball is at the 31. Again, Marble Falls Mustangs left to right. Fake handoff, pass down to the near sideline. Quickly met by the Lockhart Lion defense. That may have been to the line of scrimmage, maybe a pickup of 1. And you know what?
Moves the chains,
That
it looks
moves
like.
the chains. Again, small victories. We will take it. Right now, that ball is sitting at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10, Mustang football.
Mustangs are sitting in a 3 wide, 1 tight end, 1 running back shotgun set.
There's the snap. Anderson does a pivot like he's going to run, holds onto the ball, comes around to the end on the near sideline. Lockhart runs him out.
Looks like we got a late hit. That's going to be a flag on Lockhart.
And if that is a late hit, that is 15 yards. Let's see. We haven't had the call yet, but certainly as we saw it live, it did look like that might have been a late hit. And they called it 15 yards. This is moving Marble Falls very close to that end zone. This is the closest we have been so far. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Lockhart 11, maybe.
What a great drive so far.
It really is, and this has got to instill some confidence in this offense. Look, They are employing the training and everything that they've done so far to start the year off. That was a quarterback keeper.
I think we got a face mask, though.
I do see a flag on the field. He went right up the middle, hit a wall of not only white jerseys, but purple jerseys taken down. Let's see what this call is. That is, good eyes, Andy. That is a personal foul, face mask. Well, this is going to take it all the way up to that goal line.
This is going to be first and goal.
That's great.
Or half the distance to the goal.
That puts the ball at the 5-yard line. First and 10, correction. Yep, at the 5-yard line. It is 2nd and 4 since it was half the distance. 2nd and 4. Marble Falls in the formation. Back is in motion. That's a handoff. And that handoff is a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards. That's going to make it 3rd and about 2. Let's see where they marked that. That run was smack dab right up the middle. Good job, Marble Falls. They are advancing the ball forward methodically. Anderson in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands the ball off. Looks like we might have picked up one. It was ran into the middle of about 15 people wearing purple and white.
And
Anderson faked the quarterback run on that too.
And we were a down off because there was that face mask that would have reset it to first down. So now we're sitting in 3rd down, I believe.
And I was watching the scoreboard, Andy. Good catch. I appreciate it. We are at 3rd down right now, and the ball is sitting at the 3-yard line. There is the snap. Anderson keeps it, and the pass to the near sideline. The ball was touched but not brought in by that
Number 0, Dalton. What a good effort. Great pass. It was there.
Anderson moved very well. He took that. He did a 180 and delivered the ball to right at the corner there. That ball was touched right around the 2nd. And we got a timeout called by Marble Falls. Right now, that puts us at 4th and 3. Ball is marked at the 3-yard line. And we got the Lockhart Lions huddled up on the far side of the sideline as they meet with the coaches. Marble Falls is here on the near sideline. Teams are breaking out. Right now, we're sitting at 5-16. You are listening to KBEY Radio 103.9, proud and long-time carrier and purveyor of Marble Falls Mustang football. Welcome back to Marble Falls Mustang Football Stadium. It is 22 Lockhart Lions. In fact, they broke from that huddle from the timeout quick. Those defenders are out on the field. They're all along that goal line. Because right now, Marble Falls has got the ball. It is 4th and 3. Boy, they would love to get a score here. This is the closest we've been all day, Andy.
It sure has, and we're going to go for it. 22-0. Let's get some points on the board.
We got a tight end in motion. There's the handoff. Ball's run right up the middle. I am not sure we got all the way. The officials are marking it off. My goodness, it looks like we're about 6 inches, which is going to result in line. Oh my goodness, look where he's marking that ball. Yeah, it is at just under the 1-yard line, and it is going to be 1st and 10, Lockhart ball. Well, the upside of this is they got 99 yards to go, so let's hope that Marble Falls defense can hold Lockhart. Let's get the ball back with some decent field position. We still got some time on the clock for us to go ahead and at least do something positive. Let's get some points on that board before we head into the locker room.
That's not the only silver lining, Kirk, because we've got the ball on the half-yard line here, and that means that they don't have a lot of running room, so we could potentially get a safety here. we sack, it's a safety.
That would be great. I'm looking right now, big number 60 just went down for the Marble Falls Mustangs. He is right over center. Looks like he wants to shoot that gap. Lockhart Lions in a shotgun. There's the snap, handoff to the one single back. He gets out of the end zone, picks up about 5 yards. Marble Falls brings him down, it looks like around the 8-yard line. That's going to make it second and 4.
That running back had to be real patient there because the initial cut wasn't open.
You're right. He hit the middle and then had to do a real quick pivot to the right, and then he was brought down as he was coming back to the left. Marble Falls did a good job adjusting because that was a pretty wide hole that was opened up by that Lion offensive line. They are set. There is the snap. Snap's a little high, but it's the quarterback does a great job bringing it in. Another handoff, and I believe they just picked up that first down.
They sure did.
Lion football. Looks like the ball is going to be marked at the 13-yard line. Lions are going from our right to the left. They are at their own 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Still got some time on the clock. It is 4:07. Looks like the Lions are taking a little bit of a breather in that huddle. Now they break. Marble Falls Mustang, that Mustang defense is still in at 4-3-4. They're set up. Shotgun snap. And we got a flag on the play. And it looks like that might have been a false start for the Lions.
You know, interestingly, it looks like Lockhart's deploying a little bit different play this drive, a little less spread and a little more bunch.
And we like that because so far, at least the way we started the game off, we were plugging the holes in the middle very well. That's going to move the ball back to looks like the 7-yard line. There's the snap, handoff to the back. Correction, he faked the handoff, and it's an incomplete pass on the near sideline. 3:32 left in the first half. It is 2nd and 15. The ball is at the 8-yard line.
And on that incomplete pass, number 9, Branson Bunting was covering.
That offensive team for the Lions are looking at the signals from the sideline. They're all loosely gathered in a huddle they just broke.
You see the referees' uniforms. The wind is whipping now.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking at a flag on the end of that tight end there, and his towel is moving. There's a pass downfield, and
that's an interception.
I don't think that ever hit the ground, and Marble Falls takes the ball from an incomplete pass or a ball that never hit the ground. It touched the Lockhart defender, and Marble Falls runs it back for a touchdown. I can't really see the number yet because everybody's hugging them. Hey, if I was down there, Andy, I'd be hugging them too. Did you see who got that?
It looked like number 24, Felix Padilla.
Oh, my goodness. Well done, Mr. Padilla. Marble Falls gets a score. We're on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first points of this 2026 season. Marble Falls getting set up for that. We are going for 2. Anderson again in a shotgun all by himself. Nope. We drop back. No, the Marble Falls. And they did this a few times last year. They set up like they're going to do a run or a pass, and then they drop back for an extra point. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. Marble Falls 7, Lockhart Lions 22. Marble Falls gets on the board. And weren't we saying just earlier that it sure would be nice if we can get on the board before we go into the half?
You know, Kirk, that feels really good. It feels like, hey, we've been on the doorstep all night and finally punched it through. I'm excited for us to build some momentum going into the half.
Great job for that Marble Falls defense, helping out the offense. Teams are broken on the sides here. We're going to stay out here at Marble Falls Stadium. Right now, I'm looking at the temperature. All that weather from earlier went down south. Temperature right now is dropped to 85 again with the last several days of triple digits, even triple digits into the nighttime. This 85 must feel a little bit better to those players out there on the field. We want to thank First United Bank for sponsoring Mustang football. Of course, my name is Kirk, and Andy is Color, and you are listening to KBEY 103.9. Remember that we are also streaming. If you go to KBEY 103.9, go to the website, you'll see the link. If you go to Daily Trib, you will also see a link to stream the game. 3:21 left in the first half. Marble Falls is kicking it. And the kick is a squib kick, and it looks like it was touched by a Lion defender, and I believe we absolutely did. What a phenomenal execution.
Great onside kick.
That
right there.
was phenomenal. Man, I'm telling you, I'm looking at a bunch of purple jerseys down there, and they are excited. Marble Falls gets the ball back.
Perfectly executed. Didn't go the full 10 yards, but the receiver hit on Lockhart, got the ball, and then was hit immediately and fumbled it.
And Marble Falls recovers it at the Lockhart 47-yard line. 1st and 10, Marble Falls, 3:18 left in this first half. Mustangs got to be feeling some momentum right now. I know I do, and I'm not even close to the field right now. They break from their huddle on the near sideline. They all deploy to the middle of the field, directly into the formation.
We got a 3-wide receiver set right now. 1 tight end.
There's the shotgun snap. It was a fake handoff, passes up the middle, and the pass is caught by, I think that was at the 10-yard line. Marble Falls advances the ball.
Number 11, Greg Culver on a flea flicker.
That was spectacular. Marble Falls, they don't want to take a break. In fact, we're waiting for the chains to get moved. Officials are stopping. The ball is at the 10. Mustangs are all set up in the offense. They're ready to go. There's the snap. And the snap is handed off, and it is a run up the middle, and it looks like they got about to the 2-yard line.
Number 8, Hudson Sailors with another great run.
Again, Marble Falls. Quick. They're set up. It's a little bit of a low snap, but grab by Anderson. Handoff is hit by a wall of Lion defenders. We may have lost one on that.
Yeah, at least 1 or 2. They were ready for the run up the middle.
It is 3rd and goal. We got 2 shots to punch this ball in the end zone. Marble Falls is setting up. A lot of eyes are looking. They're taking in the signs from the sideline from that coaching staff. What are we going to do? We got 1 back, and we got receivers, 2 on top, 1 on the bottom. There's the snap. It looks like it was a handoff. And again, that handoff is hit by a wall of Lion defenders right up the middle.
2-minute warning.
I don't believe we lost any yardage on that. And we have a timeout. I believe that is a Mustang timeout. We're going to take advantage of this and send it back to the studio. You're listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Back to Mustang football. Right now we are sitting good. It is 4th down and 2. Mustangs have the ball at the 2-yard line. They are 2 yards from putting a score on the board again. They just scored 7 from a pick 6, and now they are knocking on that Lion door right at the goal line. They just broke from that huddle on the sideline with the coaches. Mustangs are lining up in a straight line along the hash mark. Now all the players deploy to the left, to the right. They take their formation. We have 1 back and we have 1 receiver
Looks like Lockhart got the timeout,
They
though.
did. Lockhart, and we saw a Lockhart coach run ferociously onto the field to get
He
the
looked like
official.
he was on the track and field team.
He saw something he did not like. We had one back and we had one receiver on the far end of the field along the sideline. And to be honest with you, I think they were concerned about that. The defense for the Lions did not react to that one receiver. I think we may very well have had an opportunity there had they not called that timeout.
You know, we're sitting here, it's 22-7 Lions up on the Mustangs, but this is the second time we've been within the 2-yard line of punching it into the end zone, plus a pick six. This is quite a game. It's a lot closer than the score lets on.
Absolutely, and we are 2 yards away from that score even being a little bit more palatable. 2 minutes left in the first half. Marble Falls Mustangs have the ball. It is 4th and 2. They are at the 2-yard line. They just broke from that huddle on the near sideline. Again, Marble Falls moving left to right. We got one receiver on the far sideline. Now we just broke one down on the bottom. Quarterback is all by himself. Anderson takes a low snap, gets it, and he is running. And I think that low snap made it a little hard for him to get some momentum.
That was actually number 8, Hudson
That
Sailors.
was a direct snap to Hudson. And Hudson tried to make something happen, but golly, he just didn't have an opportunity to get his feet underneath him to go ahead and get some momentum forward. That stops the Marble Falls Mustangs at the 2-yard line. Hey, we were in this position once before, and we did something good afterwards. Well, that's 98 yards that Lockhart has to look at. It is 156. Only 4 seconds came off during that play. It is 1:56 left in this first half. Again, Lions 22, Mustangs 7. We are just about to wrap up this first half. Don't let that score fool you. Marble Falls Mustangs have been fighting this entire first half.
We've had a number of really good looks. Our players are fighting with everything they've got. I'm excited to see if we can get a stop here.
Lions are in a shotgun formation. It is a handoff, and that handoff goes straight up the middle. It's a pickup of about maybe 2 or 3 yards. That makes it 2nd down.
That was number 33, Clayton Thompson.
Great job, Clayton, because that wasn't a pickup of 2 or 3. That looks like that was just about a pickup of 1. So it's 2nd and 9, Lockhart. Marble Falls is in a 4-3. There's the snap. It's a handoff to number 1 of Lockhart. Marble Falls is not fooled. In fact, the ball, they are dropped at the 5-yard line. That's going to make it 3rd and 7, I believe. Right now we got 1:11 and the clock is ticking away. I suspect Lockhart is going to be very careful and very protective of the ball. The last thing they want to do is turn it over, well, much like what just happened the last time they had the ball down at this end. Clock is down to 53 seconds, and now we got a timeout. In fact, I think that might have been a Marble Falls. That would have been their last one of the first half. All the players run to the near side. We're going to stay out here at Mustang Stadium. Well, Andy, what are you thinking?
We have been close. We have been oh so close. 2 drives stalled out right at the 2 and the 1 yard line. So I'm thinking that for first game of the season, Coach Timmerman's got a lot of positives to build on, even though we've had a few hiccups here or there.
I agree. I think when they get in that locker room, this isn't a, everybody's getting chewed out type moment. I think this is, let's lift these kids up and say, look, man, we are just that close. I mean, we're almost there. The Mustangs have been playing some really solid ball. There's been a couple mistakes, but the defense, the offense, we've seen a really balanced approach to this game so far by the Mustang football team. All right, Lockhart has the ball. They are at the 5 yard line. It is 3rd and 7. There's the snap. It is a handoff, and he had to go into the end zone a little bit, but he was able to run out. It would have been great if we could have dropped him back there, but nonetheless, we dropped him. The runner was stopped at the 14. I believe that was a pickup of the first down. The clock right now shows 36.
The chains are moving.
Chains are moving, yep. 1st and 10. The ball is on the 13-yard line, I believe.
And it looks like Lockhart just took a timeout.
I am looking out the press box here, looking down. All these Mustang fans, everybody's holding off before they run to the concession stand. They want to see what happens. And I think we have a reason to feel good about it because, again, the last time Marble Falls defense was facing Lockhart down here, they were able to come up with a turnover. It would be great if we could see something like that happen again.
Yes, it would.
With that timeout, all the Mustang offense is on the sideline with the coaching staff. Same thing with Lockhart on the far side of the field. You can see the humidity out in the air. It is almost dark, but golly, the lighting here at the Marble Falls Mustang Stadium is really good. We have a great view of this field. Teams come back out onto the field.
You know, it's a bit interesting to me, Kurt. One strategy would be that Lockhart would just take a knee and go into the half, but they seem to be risking it.
Yeah, and I think I'm okay with that. There is a snap. It was a shotgun. Boy, the defense was there quickly, but the quarterback was able to get the ball off, and oh my goodness, who made that saving tackle? Because that Lockhart receiver had a lot of green in front of him. However, one of our defensive backs was able to get a hand on that foot and knock him down. Right now we got 14 seconds, 13. The clock is counting down. Lockhart is letting that clock down. It looks like they're going to hold off for one last play or just let it go. As we look at the clock, 2, 1, and that's exactly what they're doing. They let the clock run down. Ladies and gentlemen, folks, it is halftime. It is Marble Falls 7, your Lockhart Lions 22. Don't let that score fool you. We're going to send it back to the studio. You are listening to KBEY 103.9.
is the high press. And now, presenting the award-winning 2026-2027 Marble Falls High School Starlet Dance Company.
Well, thank you, Mac, and we are back at Mustang Stadium again, game one of this 2026 season. The Marble Falls Mustangs are taking on the Lockhart Lions. We got 14:37 left in the half. Andy, the score right now is Lions 22, Marble Falls 7. That score, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily tell the story of what we just watched so far in the first half.
No, it does not. We're looking at a game that is really two goal line plays, fourth down stands by the Lockhart Lions on their 1-2 yards away from this being a 22-21 game. And I'm looking at our Marble Falls Mustangs, and everybody's playing so hard. It's a great start for the season. There's really been some standouts, though I would say number 8, our running back, Hudson Sailors, and even on the kick return, he has just been running hard every time he gets the ball. And so beyond Hudson Sailors on the defensive side, I'm seeing Christian Cervantes on the defensive line, number 7. He's made a couple of really good plays in the backfield, been really close to a couple of sacks, and then wide receiver Greg Culver also stood out, number 11. He made, in one drive, he had 3 consecutive catches that really got us into a great scoring position.
Now, the Mustangs, they have scored, but it was a defensive score on a pick 6. The offense has yet to get on the board, but again, I say that I'm just not sure it necessarily represents that the offense hasn't been able to produce.
And that pick 6 was we had backed up the Lockhart Lions. They threw it down the field in about the 45-yard line. Great Mustang defense, popped the ball up in the air, and then number 24, Felix Padilla, he was the one that snagged the ball right out of the air before it hit the ground and was able to run it back for that score. So a lot for Coach Timmerman to build on from my perspective.
I said it just before the half, but I don't think this is one of those halftime coaches' speeches that, that beats everybody up and, is negative. I think there is so much to be positive about, and let's build upon the effort. What do they say? A for effort. And the Marble Falls Mustangs have been playing some really good ball. You're right. We're just a handful of plays that had it gone a different way, the score would be really different. But I'm super pleased with what we're seeing here from the Mustangs. But of course, look, it all comes down to the score, and right now the Marble Falls Mustangs are sitting at 7 and Lockhart Lions at 22.
And if you were to ask me to try and get into Coach Timmerman's mind in that locker room, I think ball security is coming up because we've had some really great runs that have ended in a ball on the ground. And I think, those runs don't end in a fumble. We're talking about a different game. So I think ball security is one, but I love the energy that the Mustangs have shown, and really believe we're going to come out and really try and kind of put Lockhart back on their heels coming out of the half.
You're right, and what you're saying reminds me of the conversation I had with Coach Timmerman just the other day. In fact, I talked to him, and he said something very similar to what we're saying. He said, look, offensively, we just didn't see a lot of explosive plays. And we've seen some really close explosive plays. But you know what he called it? He said, I would call fingertip misses. And we've had some plays that are very close to really being executed and keeping the Mustangs in the game, or at least the score closer. Obviously, we got a second half, and a lot can happen. But this kind of reminds me of a few games from last year. The expectations are I'm going to make the play, and as we roll into the second half, I think that that's something that we would like to see from this Marble Falls Mustang team. The gist of what we're saying is that we've seen a lot of effort. Mustangs have not given up. The Mustangs are playing some strong football. We need it to come. We need it to be reflected on the scoreboard.
You know, one of the things that's really also stood out to me in the first half is the Mustang coaching staff's willingness to be a little bit creative. We saw a flea flicker pass that paid off. We saw a onside kick try that paid off, and so a lot of creativity in the play calling, and I want to see how they play off of that in the second half. It seemed to be that they got Lockhart guessing on a few times.
You're right, and we can also say it defensively. The Mustangs began to blitz a little bit more as the first half progressed, and you could tell it was disruptive of that Lockhart offense. With that said, we are sitting at 7 Mustangs and 22 for the Lockhart Lions. We have 9 minutes left in this halftime show. We're about to start the second half. We got a whole half game of football. Ladies and gentlemen, this is opening night of Marble Falls Mustang football. It is time to celebrate. We're about to usher in, well, obviously football season, but it's almost the fall. I just checked the temperature here at Mustang Stadium in Marble Falls, and right now that temperature is at 84 degrees. You know, just a handful of days ago, that temperature was still sitting in triple digits, so we'll take 84 degrees. Right now, that Marble Falls band played earlier, and now the Lockhart band is on the field, and they are wearing, well, it looks like tan shorts or slacks and black shirts. That is their school colors. The flag wavers are around. The band is playing. Can't really hear them up here in the studio, but this is football. It sounds like football. I'm looking out the window again, and the stands are full. Lockhart has a really, and Andy, as we look across the way, Lockhart has a pretty darn good turnout. Good for them. But, of course, we're in Marble Falls, and Marble Falls faithful, the Marble Falls family, have showed up to support this team. We're going to send it back to the studio for a break. You are listening to KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Mustang Football. We are in Marble Falls. This is Kirk Noaker and Andy Selman doing color. Look, this is our first time doing this. Of course, we are doing everything we can to replace what I would say is the legendary play-by-play caller, Ben Shields, who is in the stadium tonight, but he is not in the box with us. Ben is a coach for Marble Falls middle school football team, and well, we're doing the very best we can. We appreciate all of you being patient with us. Look, we wanna try to emulate and channel what you have become accustomed to in the past, but yet we want to kind of make this a little different, and we want to make this ours. So we're excited that you've chosen to join us and support your Marble Falls Mustangs. Andy, it's not only the first game of the season, but this is something new for you and I. What are you thinking?
Oh, this has been so much fun. Love the fall in Texas. Love football. So this is just a great opportunity to support our Mustang family and Mustang Nation, and excited to see the energy that we come out with in the second half. I'm hoping that our nerves got calmed a little bit in the halftime locker room, and that we're going to come out and have that fire that we saw at the beginning of the game.
Yep, I agree. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the half. We talked about nerves, and, well, the Marble Falls Mustang players just came out of the locker room. They are all lined up right adjacent the Mustang, that gold and purple Mustang inflatable. Same thing, Lockhart Lions. They're all staged just behind the Lockhart Lion inflatable. These players are ready to get back on the field. But before they get on the field, the Marble Falls cheerleaders are out there. They're ready to greet them. Those cheerleaders do such a great job of keeping this crowd fired up. And, you know, they're like, one right now is out there doing cartwheels or something. If I tried to do a cartwheel, I would have fallen, and you would have had an ambulance on the field trying to pick me up. So, really, I mean, this is just all part of that football environment. I'm looking over there now, Marble Falls players, they're stretching over there by the inflatable. They're all kind of getting limber. Same thing with the Lockhart Lions.
You know, Kirk, one of the things that I'm noticing is the wind has really picked up, and I saw it towards the end of the first half. Even though we were trying to push the ball down the field, there was a little bit of a tendency to want to do a little more short passing game. So I'll be interested to see in this second half how, especially Lockhart, who was doing a lot of deep passing, has to adjust. That might open up some holes, especially considering how our front line kind of stood them up a number of times when they were trying to run the ball. So if this becomes an on-the-ground game, I like our chances.
Well, and you're right, the wind has picked up. In fact, as we're looking at the flags at the north end of the stadium, well, those flags are blowing to the north. In fact, they look like they're blowing in a northwesterly direction. So the wind may very well be a factor that wasn't necessarily a factor for much of that first half. Let's see how the teams adjust. And another thing that you said, Andy, if we can take the passing game and disrupt that Lockhart offense, and we go ahead and we start challenging them on the ground, I really like our chances to close the gap in this score.
Yeah, Hudson Sailors, he was running with some intensity in that first half, and Lockhart couldn't do much with him. If he got his feet underneath him and got a good handoff, I mean, he was running downhill.
Marble Falls Mustang players, everybody is in the inflatable. Same thing with Lockhart. They're over there in their inflatable with that lion. Players are ready to get on the field, and, well, we're ready to start this second half. The clock is ticking down. We're now at 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining in the half. Why don't we send it back to the studio real quick for a break, and you are listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Mustang Stadium. We are about to see the kickoff of the second half. Again, game one. Your Lockhart Lions are 22 and our Marble Falls Mustangs at 7. We're down. We have some good things to look forward to. I think we're going to see, well, I think we can be optimistic because the Marble Falls Mustang team has played some solid football. May not necessarily reflect in that score, but the Mustangs are full of fight. In fact, they are on the field right now. Lockhart Lions are set to receive the kickoff. Mustangs are lined up in the line. Kicker stepping off. Well, he's pacing off his steps for the kick. Marble Falls is kicking from our left to right. Marble Falls wearing the black pants and the purple jerseys, white helmets. The Lions are all in white. There is the kickoff. Doesn't get too high, but it gets really good distance. It is a fair catch at the 4-yard line. At the 4, 1st and 10, Lockhart. Andy, do you have any ideas as to what we can see? You talked about the wind. Do we think they're going to chuck it around a little bit, or are they going to keep things on the ground?
Well, I think it's definitely going to have an impact. Lockhart is starting in this third quarter. They're going to be going with the wind, going towards, so they're going to be able to throw downfield, while the Mustangs are going to have to battle the wind going against it for this third quarter, and then it'll flip in the fourth.
Well, we're going to see what that strategy is. Both teams are on the field. Again, the Lions are moving from our right to left. They remain in that shotgun formation that they've been in all night. There is the snap. It is a handoff to the one single back. Marble Falls is there. Now, nobody's fallen to the ground, but everybody's grabbing, and the officials called the play dead. That back gets all the way up to the line of scrimmage. Great job by Marble Falls. Again, a wall of purple jerseys.
Looked like number 9, Branson Bunting, with a great tackle there.
Marble Falls has been, they've remained in that 4-3 defense, and they are there now. Lockhart breaks out of their, out of the huddle. They got 2 receivers wide, far side, one this side, another handoff right up the middle. Marble Falls is there, and it looks like it might have been a pickup of 4 yards, and that would make it 3rd and about 6.
A couple of good opening plays there from the Mustangs.
And so far,
3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, and so far, Lockhart's keeping that ball on the ground.
They are, which is a bit surprising. Maybe they're not sure how to judge the wind, but I'd imagine they're going to go with a pass here.
And that wind is behind them, so that ball has the opportunity to sail. Lions break out of that huddle, and again, shotgun, one single back. They got 3 receivers split wide. There's the snap. Quarterback's dropping back. It's a long pass down the far side of the sideline, and that ball is caught at the Marble Falls 20-yard line. Correction, 25-yard line. My goodness, that was about a 50-yard pass. Marble Falls was back there, but that receiver just had a step on our defender.
Number 2 has really showed up to play for Lockhart today.
Lockhart is setting up on the line after that big pickup. It was 1st and 10 at the 15. There's the snap, and great job, Marble Falls.
Tackle.
Yep, he hit that gap and dropped the running back right behind the line. In fact, I think that might have been a loss.
Number
that would
13, Gladen Smith.
Good job, Gladen. 2nd and 11, Lions. I'd like to see us stop here. We don't need to advance the ball. We don't need to allow them to advance the ball, because with this wind, it's going to be tricky to try to go for a field goal, even though they're close. Lockhart comes out of the huddle. We got 1 in the backfield again. 2 up top, 1 receiver on the bottom. It's a handoff up the middle, and boom.
33
Boom.
with a monster tackle
Monster
there.
tackle. I feel like John Madden with the boom, but that was a great tackle right up the middle. I don't think Lockhart picked up anything on that. The ball right now sits at the 15. 3rd and 10. 9:17 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Clayton Thompson's going to be thinking about that tackle later tonight.
You got to think Lockhart might try to put the ball up at some point. They've had some success there, and there is another pass. It's flown to the top of the field at the sideline. I see a flag on the play. Pickup of about 8 yards. Let's see what that flag is. And that is going to be a holding call on Lockhart. That'll negate the yards gained. It's going to move the ball back. And we're going to end up redoing that 3rd down.
You know, that's a hold that is created by great aggressive defensive play, because that was a quick screen to the outside, and that defensive back broke on it, and there we get a hold.
That's what hitting those gaps by the defense does. It's unsettling to that offensive line, and, well, they got to find a way to mitigate the penetration from that Marble Falls defense. Marble Falls is just doing a great job. There was a long pass, but on the ground, they're doing excellent. There is the snap. Lions drop back for a pass. It is a little dump pass, and it is caught by number 1 of Lockhart, who takes the ball into the end zone.
The Mustangs have been oh so close on those pressures. I mean, we were inches away from a sack there, and that turns into a touchdown.
And this is about the 3rd time that has happened. Again, a game of inches. Lockhart Lions, they got 28 points on the board. They're looking to make 29. They're going in for the extra point. There's the kick, and it is good. Well, that is making, Lockhart 29 and your Marble Falls Mustang 7. That's that one pass. That was tough. I mean, that was just an enormous chunk of yardage. We're going to go ahead and take a break, send it back to the studio. Again, Marble Falls 7, Lockhart Lions 29, 8:24 left on the clock here in the third quarter. You're listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Marble Falls Mustang Stadium. Lockhart just scored. They just kicked. The ball is taken in at the 9-yard line. Marble Falls crosses the 30. I got a flag on the play there. Ball advanced to the 40 by that Marble Falls Mustang player that actually took the kickoff. He ran, it was a diagonal cross. Maybe he picked up 30 yards on that run by receiving it and to where he was brought down. But if you actually take that diagonal, that was about a 50-yard run. What was that call?
We had a hold on that, so that's going to push the Mustangs back a bit.
Official is stepping it off, crosses the 30, crosses the 25, and marks it down at the 22-yard line. Marble Falls, 1st and 10, again with the ball at the 22-yard line. Lockhart Lions break their huddle. The defense sets up. Marble Falls sets up. We got 2 receivers on the near sideline, one at the top. Again, one back in the field. There's a handoff. and the Lions penetrated that offensive line. They hit the gaps. That runner was met on his very first step.
Hudson Saylor looked like he got about 3 yards on that one.
And a great job, because he could have been stopped a little bit earlier, but he fought through it. That brings up 2nd and 8 for your Mustangs. The calls are being called in from the sideline. Again, hand and arm signals. Most of the players are looking to their right. Marble Falls from the left. They're moving to the right. There is the snap and a pass, and it is caught on the near sideline, and a pickup of a pretty good chunk of yards there. That
Number 11, Greg Culver, he has been showing up big tonight.
Greg was brought out on the near sideline at the 41-yard line. That is a first down. This is a good start for Marble Falls offense here in the second half. In fact, they're moving quickly. Takes a snap. Pass along the line, and it is caught. And again, the ball is advanced up to around the 50, but we do have some laundry on the field. Let's see what the call is. In fact, if it stands, that was a pickup of 9. And it is going to stand because we see a defensive hold on the Lions.
Personal foul face mask, actually. So we're
very
going to get
good.
an extra 15 tacked on.
Yep, that's excellent. That advances the ball well into the Lions' field. In fact, the ball right now looks like it is placed at the 35-yard line. Marble Falls is moving quickly. They don't want the Lion defense to get set up. The back goes into motion. Now we got 4 receivers on the side. Anderson drops back. Passes the ball near sideline, and the ball is dropped. I don't think if he caught it that he was going to get too far with that one anyways. That brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 10.
Definitely looked like Hudson was already planning his first juke move to get around those defenders.
Hey, I like how he thinks. Hudson wants to get into that end zone, and let's go ahead and close the gap in this score a little bit. Mustangs are at the line. Again, we got one back. He goes into motion. Again, that's going to create 3 receivers. Number 11 for Marble Falls comes back on a curl, catches the ball, picks up about 5 extra yards. A phenomenal job.
I want to say that's at least 5 or 6 catches for number 11, Greg Culver. He is having a great game.
Greg is a senior on this Marble Falls. Now we got a 3-receiver bunch on the far side. The snap goes for a quarterback keeper, and he picks up maybe 3 yards. Let's see where they marked that. It looks like he was brought down at the 27.
They tried to mix it up a little bit because they had been doing those direct snaps to Hudson Sailors, and this time it was just a quarterback right up the middle draw.
Well, it makes it 4th and 2, and just based on where they're at, they're going for it. It makes sense. Not just the score, but the field position in this case dictates it. Let's see what Marble Falls does to get those 2 yards for a first down. One back, a couple receivers split. It's a handoff, and that is a first down run right up the middle. A pickup of about 3-4 yards maybe, but again, 1st and 10, Marble Falls, and the ball right now sits at the 23-yard lines of Lockhart. Marble Falls is just a few yards away from being in the red zone.
Persistence has paid off. We have tried that on a number of important short down plays, and finally we break through.
And that's what happens, right, Andy? And as the game goes on, players become tired. There's the snap. It was a fake handoff. It is a pass for a pickup the ball is advanced to the far sideline up until about the 13 or 14. Marble Falls is in that red zone. It's a first down. It moves the chains.
That was a nice quick pass. The ball hung up there for what looked like forever. But
I was nervous.
Great wide receiver catch by,
excellent job.
I believe, number 8.
5:30 left on the clock. Marble Falls is
number
looking.
6. Sorry.
Marble Falls is looking to score this ball. It's a pass to the far sideline. Again, it's about a 3-4 yard pass. It is caught. That picks up a small chunk of yards, but we're moving the ball, and that's important, especially when you sit in the red zone.
That's back-to-back catches by Gage Coleman, and we're moving the ball.
2nd and 7, Mustangs. Ball right now sits at the 10-yard line. They're looking to punch it in. The snap, it's a handoff. Handoff is going around the far side, and ladies and gentlemen, that is a touchdown, Marble Falls. Marble Falls offense.
Diego Aguilar.
Way to go, Diego. We've seen his big brother do that several times in this stadium. We love seeing Diego do it. Great job, Marble Falls. That makes the score 29 Lions, Marble Falls 13. Let's see what they do, if they go for a conversion or if they go for an extra point. Remember, what they typically do is they line up for a conversion, but then they rotate. But in this particular case, they snap the ball. The snap is a little high. Quarterback brings it in. He throws up a pass, and I believe it was caught. It was a desperation heave just to get it to somebody with a purple jersey, and they leaped up and caught it.
Number 2, actually, quarterback Andrew Liscombe made the catch.
I love that. And you know what? I talked earlier in the pregame when I was interviewing Coach Timmerman, and he said Andrew Liscombe has a way of coming in a different role. He's also a quarterback, but he came in and climbed the ladder and brought that bound for the conversion. That goes ahead, and, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're within 14 points of making this game a tie game. And right now, Marble Falls has got a lot of momentum behind them. .5:15 left on the clock. We're here in the third quarter. If you're just joining us, Kirk Noaker and Andy doing color, Andy Selman. This is our first time ever doing this. We're excited to be here. We're excited to represent KBEY 103.9 and Marble Falls Mustang football.
This has been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. And you know, when the score kind of looks one way, we've had a lot to be excited about. And, well, I think we just saw one reason why we can be excited. Folks, it's football season.
And we're seeing our Mustangs fight back.
We are.
We're seeing them overcome some early adversity, and that's a great sign for the rest of the season.
They're not rolling over. These boys got a lot of fight. There is the kick. Again, the kick doesn't go that high. Kick drops right around the 12, and the Lockhart Lion, the ball bounced. He had a really difficult time trying to pull it in. I think the ball actually went out of bounds, and the official marks it off at the 14-yard line. That's going to be 1st and 10 at their own 14 for Lockhart. I'm looking at the Mustang defense in their huddle, and these boys are amped. They are ready to go, Andy.
They sure are, and I've really liked what I've seen from our defense. We've had a couple of broken plays, but for the vast majority of the game, they're standing tall against a tough offense here.
You're right, and they have proven themselves when the ball is all the way back towards that Lockhart goal line. So let's see if this defense can make something happen. Lockhart, same formation that they've been using all day. They're in a shotgun. There's the snap. It's a handoff. The handoff goes to, he is able to run around the end. He picks up some yards, maybe a first down. The ball looks like it might have been advanced to around the 27. That does move the chains. That is a 1st and 10 at the 26 for Lockhart.
Those Lockhart receivers were able to seal off our defensive backs for a big gain there.
You're right. And that was a pretty big pickup on the ground. Marble Falls has been pretty darn effective at stopping the run, or at least limiting the run. Lockhart goes with the run again. And that doesn't pick too much up. In fact, about 4 Marble Falls Mustang defenders bring the runner down. That's a gain of 4. Ball is advanced to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was pretty much the entire defensive line making a stop right there.
That's a 2nd and 6 for the Lions. The Mustang defense remains in that 4-3 configuration. No changes from that offense on the Lions. There's the snap, looks like another handoff, and the runner finds a hole. And the runner takes a hit, and he bounced off the hit and ultimately advances the ball to the 40 for Lockhart. A Marble Falls safety ultimately was able to hit him to the ground, but that was a pretty good chunk of yards that they picked up. Right now, the ball is sitting at the 40, at the 42-yard line. The ball's been crossed over into Marble Falls territory. Lockhart 1st and 10. Only one receiver on this setup, and that was a run. It was an obvious run, and Marble Falls saw it all the way. Looked like the defensive back shot that gap, and he was able to meet that runner in the backfield. In fact, I'm going to say that might have been a loss of 1. That's going to make 2nd and 11 for the Lions. Good job.
Number 50 just shot the gap right there and stood up the running back.
We need a little bit more of that. 2nd and 11, Lions are coming to the line. The wind continues to blow from the backside. 2:55 on the clock. 4 receivers, back goes into motion. The pass is dropped quickly to the back in the backfield, and he picks up he was going to pick up just about 4 yards, and it looks like he might have picked up 5 or 6. Brought down on the far sideline.
You know, interestingly enough, Kurt, it's been a pretty clean game. Not a lot of holding penalties.
You're right. We really haven't seen a lot of yellow on the field.
And that's interesting to me, especially when I think about how many screen passes, especially Lockhart, is running.
That tells us the coaches got their players ready. It comes down to fundamentals. 3rd and 5, ball is on the 37. Clock ticks towards 2 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Lions at the line, 1 in the backfield. There's the snap. It's a handoff. He was going to go right up the middle. However, Marble Falls closed the gap, so then he moved towards the edge, and he was able to make the corner. In fact, he went ahead and showed everybody that he got the first down. He pointed towards the end zone. Ball's advanced to about the 25-yard line. That's a 1st and 10 for for the Lions. Marble Falls defense remains in that 4-3. Lockhart's taking a little bit of a break in this huddle. Four receivers. 1 in the backfield, nobody in motion. The snap. And it is a handoff. They've had some success running around the edge. They did it again on the far side of the field. He was able to turn the corner, not pick up a first down, but he picked up some yards. It looks like he picked up about 7.
And that looked like number 30, Bentley Trejo, with a great tackle there.
Had Bentley not been there, we might have been talking about points. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Lions. Snap, handoff right up the middle. Real wide
ball's
hole,
on
but
the
the
ground.
ball is loose. I can't see who got it. The ball is right by the end zone.
That's Mustang ball.
That is Marble Falls Mustang football. That is spectacular. I'm trying to see who recovered that. We got a player, looks like he might be dealing with a cramp, which wouldn't be too hard to believe in this heat. He is quickly brought to his feet, and he's walking it off. I suspect they're going to go ahead and start getting some fluids into him, but this is Marble Falls football. Looks like the ball is on the 1 yard line, maybe the 2, but it's 1st and 10 Marble Falls. Let's see what they can do with 98 yards in front of them, Andy.
And that looked like player number 0, Olin Dalton, with the fumble recovery and also the cramp.
Yep. Olin's walking it off every step. It's probably getting a little bit better. Good job. Boy, we needed that. We did not want to see the Lions put some more points on the board. They were moving the ball pretty darn effectively.
It's about time something went our way.
Last time Marble Falls offense had the ball, they scored. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. Anderson is in the end zone. He takes the snap, dumps it off at the goal line, and there is a real wide lane along the far sideline. That ball is advanced all the way to the 37-yard line for a first down. That's a great way to get away from that goal line. We don't want to take a chance of a safety, and we move the ball in the air.
Number 6, Gage Coleman, showing up again.
Marble Falls quickly to the line. They don't want to give anybody time to rest or recover or think about it. We got a 3-receiver bunch right at the end of the line. Near side receiver is in motion.
Now we've got 4 wide receivers on the top.
Yeah, we do, and they go into motion again. They're changing the formation. They see something. Anderson in the backfield by himself. Nobody back there. This is an obvious pass. He's going long, and he's going long to the middle of the field. Golly, Lions had great coverage. 3 receivers around that Mustang receiver, smack dab in the middle. That pass was all the way to the Lion 30-yard line. Incomplete, which brings up a second down.
And you know what I was saying, Kirk, that wind, I think, definitely had impact there because he threw that deep ball right across the middle directly into the wind.
Into the wind. You're right. I'm looking at the flags, and those flags are horizontal. That is a pretty significant, and that is a consistent wind. It's not gusting. That wind is staying steady. There is the 8. We got a hole right up the middle. That was a handoff to the backfield. Hole up the middle, pick up some yards, and that's great. That makes 3rd down and about 3. This is much more manageable than what they were just looking at.
It is. Hudson Sailors again, and it looks like Marble Falls might be taking a timeout to open up the whole playbook for a great play going into this.
3rd and 3. Ball is at the 44. That brings in the end of the 3rd quarter. We got 12 minutes left in this game. We're about to start into the 4th quarter. We're going to stay here. KBEY and Marble Falls Mustang Football would like to recognize our title sponsors for this season. My goodness, none of this would be possible without IBC Bank, Pedernales Electric Cooperative, and First United Bank. Our community knows how to come together and support, well, the game, but then support these young men out on the field. We talked a little bit about those 4 pillars, everything Coach Timmerman is trying to teach these young men. This is what makes them turn into good men as they get older, and we certainly appreciate the community support. We talk about the community again. I am looking at a pretty good crowd here for opening night. 12 minutes on the clock, starting the 4th quarter. Lions 29, Mustangs 15. Again, 3rd and 3 for the Marble Falls Mustangs. They're now moving left to right with the quarter change. Correction, right to left. There's the snap. It's a handoff, and let me tell you, Lockhart was ready. In fact, that handoff, as soon as that was handed off, there was 3 Lion defenders right on him and pushed him back about 2 or 3 yards. That's going to make 4th down, and that's a 4th down and a pretty good chunk to go. About 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 6. Nope, 4th and 5. Marble Falls is lining up. They want a first down. Ball right now sits at the 41-yard line of the Mustangs.
That was a play call that you make because you know you're going for it on 4th down.
I think so. I think you're right. There's a timeout on the field. Lockhart calls a timeout. You know, they also recognize how important this fourth down is as we're sitting in the fourth quarter. If Marble Falls can put some points on the board, this game just got a lot closer and all of a sudden becomes attainable for those Mustangs.
You know, I'm looking at that Lockhart coach, and he was fired up calling that timeout.
Yeah, he was. I wonder if he saw something.
Team.
Yeah. Well, the Mustang offense is huddled up on the sideline with the coaches. Same thing. Lockhart defenders are on the far side of the field. Once again, and I'm going to say it right this time, Andy, Marble Falls to our right, looking to advance the ball to the left. Fourth down, 5 yards to go.
And now the wind is in our favor.
That wind hurt us in the third quarter. Let's see if we can close this game out. You know, there's always that 12th man, considering the fans. Maybe we got a 13th man, and that would be the wind helping us out. Let's see what Marble Falls can do. Mustangs line up. Lockhart lines up. Lockhart is in a 4-4. Correction, now they went ahead and changed. They're in a 4-3. Marble Falls has 2 wide receivers on the far side. There's the snap. Anderson rolls, makes a pass. I believe that was brought in.
That's a completed catch, fourth down conversion.
And that is and what a great call. What a great call. By the way, for Anderson to make that pass as he's rolling out to the far side of the field. Great job, Marble Falls. First down, 1st and 10 Mustang. Ball's at the Mustang, 49.5.
What a clutch catch by number 20, Diego Aguilar.
That's a couple times we've mentioned Diego here in the last few minutes. Great job, Diego. There's the snap, a fake. Oh, my goodness. That was a fake pass, and nobody from the Lion defense bought it, and they brought down the Mustang quarterback. That was a loss of...
It looks like about 10.
Yeah, about 10 yards. The ball is all the way back to the 40 to get to, now back to the Marble Falls 40. A first down needs to take them all the way to the 41 of the Lions.
Where do you go in your playbook for a
for 19.
2nd and 19?
Yeah, well, maybe they can eat up a chunk of it. Well, they want to eat up all of it. That's a long pass down the middle. And did that receiver get there early? That's an incomplete pass. The Lion receiver was at the feet of the Marble Falls of the intended receiver. That's an incomplete pass. Well, now it's 3rd and 19, but they were oh so close to that first down.
What a great pass. That was right there for number 11 to make the catch.
Well, you asked what do they do. They showed you what they were going to do, and they almost pulled it off. Let's see what they can do now.
At the very least, though, Kirk, that'll back up the defenders a bit.
3rd and 19. Ball is on Marble Falls 40. 3 receivers wide. It's a small dump pass up to the line of scrimmage. It's received. And a really good... phenomenal run.
And a late personal foul.
Yep, that looks like a late hit. That was a huge pickup of yards. In fact, I think before the foul, that would have been a first down. Let's see where the ball is moved to. If it's what we think it is, this is going to be in Marble Falls' favor. That was a short dump pass to a cross route.
A little middle screen to Hudson Sailors, and he just made something happen on a 3rd and 19.
After several contact and hands by the Lion defenders, he was able to break free a couple times. Excellent play. Again, you asked what do we do to get that first down? What's in the playbook? We just saw it.
And tack on 15, we're talking at a 34-yard play right there.
Yep. Ball's at the 25, 1st and 10 Marble Falls. That's the 25 of Lockhart, 5 yards from the red zone. And goes into motion. The snap goes to the quarterback. He keeps it, looks for a hole in the middle, doesn't find one. Advances the ball about 2 yards. Look like it's going to be 2nd and 8.
You know, I'm definitely seeing Lockhart has made some halftime adjustments because that middle is not nearly as open as it was in the first half for our running game.
You're right. And some of the success that Marble Falls in the second half has had is actually on the end.
It's been on the end and through the air.
Yep. Again, the wind is behind Marble Falls as they're trying to get this first down. Ball is at the 25. There's a snap. Again, a pass up to the line of scrimmage, and that Marble Falls defender is pushing. He catches the ball at the 20, and he takes 3 Lockhart Lions with him all the way to the 10. And by the way, they didn't bring him down. They were just able to get him out of bounds at the 10. That is a first down, Marble Falls at the 10-yard line.
Can we say Hudson Sailors, he's having a game?
I can't wait to watch the replay. That was a great play. Boy, you're right. Hudson has really stepped up tonight. 1st and 10, Marble Falls. We got one. The players are actually looking to the sideline. The play is being called in. We got 2 receivers on the far side, 1 near side. We got 1 back. Shotgun formation. There's the snap. It's a handoff, and Marble Falls just scored a touchdown. That run was right up the middle. Where were I didn't see any line defenders there, and neither did Marble Falls.
And it was number 20, Diego Aguilar.
Diego.
He's having quite a game as well.
Way to go, man. We love it. We absolutely love it. Again, that Aguilar name, it means something in this stadium. Diego's carving out a path for himself. Marble Falls is looking for they're lined up for a conversion. Last time they did it and pulled it off. Now we got a substitution. Marble Falls right now sitting at 21. The Lions at 29. We're just at 8 points right now. Okay, Marble Falls is going to go ahead and kick the extra point.
Crawford Maddox is holding the ball, though, and he's also QB.
The snap, the kick, it is a bullet, but it's a bullet right through the middle. That is a good extra point. Hey, Andy, we are 7 points from tying this game up. 29 Lions, Mustangs 22.
We've got a game here.
Wow, this is phenomenal. Well, hey, listen, while we take a break here and catch our breath because we are excited, we're going to send it back to the studio. You're listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. After that touchdown, Marble Falls 22, Lockhart 29. The kickoff, I believe it was a squib kick. I think Lockhart recovered it at the 50. We're still trying to sort things out. I'm not even sure the officials know what the heck just happened.
Another attempted onside kick. We'll see what the ruling is.
The last onside kick, Marble Falls recovered. Let's see what this is.
Illegal touching on the kicking team.
Yep,
so that's
we
going
got
be the
to it
Lockhart
too
ball.
quickly. So, yep, Lockhart has it. The ball is being spotted at the 49-yard line of the Mustangs. First and 10, Lockhart. 8:56 left in the game. Again, Lockhart 29, Marble Falls 22. That gap was much wider earlier in the game. And the Mustang offense and defense, this team has been persistent. Lockhart sends a receiver into motion. We're in a shotgun. There's a handoff. They're trying that end. And they're able to turn it, but not too successfully. Marble Falls stops them. They do, looks like they pick up about 6.
Lockhart runs for a gain of 5 yards.
That makes it second down.
We've
They
got-
might have picked up 5. 2nd and 5 for Lockhart.
Injured Mustang on the play.
Injured Mustang number 33, Clayton Thompson, is walking off the field. Looks like he's okay, though.
Yep, they're helping him up real quick.
His helmet came off on a hard tackle.
Clayton comes off the field, number 7. Again, 2nd and 5, Lions at the Marble Falls 44. 8:30 left in the game. Lions going into the win. There's the shotgun snap. It's a handoff. They pick up the first down. They pick up the first down and more. They're able to run it all the way down to the 30. They turn the corner. Again, Marble Falls has been able to lock up the middle, but that end, it's the end. They've been having a hard time containing Lockhart.
It's all these stretch handoffs and these halfback pitches that seem to be having our number tonight.
Lockhart, first down. They make a player substitution. Ball right now is sitting at the Marble Falls 21. Again, 1st and 10. Marble Falls remains in that 4-3 defense. Lockhart splits. Yep, we got a timeout, Lockhart. I think they recognize the gravity of this situation. If they can put some points on the board, that's going to make things really difficult for Marble Falls. If Marble Falls can stop Lockhart, what happens next, Andy?
Well, I think that I see Lockhart using a strategy that's equal parts wanting to put points on the board and also bleeding the clock. And so
Parents and students will be allowed on
I think they're wanting to get the right play in. They've had a number of successful runs. I'd expect them to go to the pass right now.
If they go to the pass, they're going to throw into the wind. Again, Lockhart is from our left, moving to the right. The winds are coming out of the south, pretty much in a northwesterly direction. 7:52 on the clock. Lions break from their huddle on the sideline. Marble Falls Mustang defenders are already ready to go. They're in their position. Little conversation by the Lockhart quarterback. We got 2. I think this is the first time we've seen this tonight. We got 2 backs in the backfield. There's the handoff. They crisscross. The quarterback keeps it. He throws to the top of the field. It's caught, and that is a first down, Lockhart. That was a little bit of a trick play, and it was successful. It worked. The 2 backs crisscrossed in front of the quarterback. Either one of them could have taken the handoff, but the Lockhart quarterback kept it, and then one of the backs was open on the top of the at the far sideline.
Well, and number 2, one of the guys in the backfield right now, he's actually been their receiver that has had some big plays.
That worked so well the last time. They did it again, and they just ran the ball in for, I believe, negative. We were able to stop them at the 1. Nope, the scoreboard hasn't reflected a score. However, Lockhart is setting up for an extra point. So Lockhart did score a touchdown. They're looking for the extra point. Kicker just paced off his steps. Scoreboard just updated. It's a bad snap, and it is kicked up by the kicker, who's able to only get the ball back to the line of scrimmage, at least from close to the snapping point. That is a no good extra point. and we'll go ahead and count that as a little victory for us. Marble Falls is going to get the ball back. Right now, the score is 35-22.
So we're down 13 right now. 7:39 left. That is definitely manageable.
I was just going to say, for all of you math majors out there, you know that this game is within reach, especially when we have 7:39 on the clock. It is 1st and 10, Marble Falls. We're going to stay here. Right now, that Marble Falls special team is getting ready to take the ball. It'd be great if we could see a good return here. Let's get the ball in good field position, and let's do something with it. Again, Marble Falls is going to have the wind to their back, so this kickoff is going into the wind. Marble Falls special team is all set up on the field to our right. Lions just break their huddle. That Lions kicker is stepping it off. 35-22 Lions. Marble Falls is within striking distance. They're about to get the ball. Here's the kick. The kick is not that far. It is taken in at the 17, and it is advanced all the way. Well, I was prepared to say advanced to the 30, but somehow he was able to ink out another 10 yards with a couple people on his back.
And guess who it is?
Talk to me.
Diego.
Boom. Way to go, Diego. You know, it is times like this, Andy, where you know, who's ready? Who's going to step up? Who's going to go ahead and put this team on their back? And we have a handful of players that are like, hey, it's my time. I'm going to make this happen. Right now, Marble Falls 1st and 10. They're going to have the ball at their own 40. I'd say this is pretty good field position to start things off.
Most definitely. And we've had some Mustangs with monster games.
Shotgun, we got one receiver top, two on the bottom. It's a handoff right up the middle. He's met, but not met until, before picking up 5 yards. In fact, he may have picked up 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 4. I'm looking for that spot. We got a Lockhart player down. I think we got a string of cramping going on. Looks like that ball was spotted close to the 5, so we're going to say it's 2nd and 5.
Hudson Sailors again with a nice 5-yard gain.
And Andy, it looked like we were going nowhere with that. I mean, it looked like he was being met all the way, and he found a way to ink out 5 yards. Look, a 2nd and 5 is a pretty manageable. That's,
You're
we'll take
ahead
it.
of the sticks. Your whole playbook's open. Lots of opportunities here. This is a good moment to take a shot.
Well, you're right. Right now, the first down marker would be at the 50. Again, this started at the 40. After a great return on the Lions kick, that injured Lockhart player is up. In fact, I see him walking over to the sideline. He looks like he's doing okay. And kudos to those Marble Falls fans. As soon as that young man got to his feet, we heard the Mustang fans clap. All right, that puts us back into play. 7:32 left on the clock. Fourth quarter, Marble Falls has the ball at the 45. 2nd and 5. We got one up top, two receivers on the bottom. One, and the quarterback's dropping back. That's Anderson. He drops back. He gets the pass off. The pass is a little short. If caught, that would have been a first down.
That was a good look.
It was a good look. Just a little short.
Good
The
play.
receiver was open.
Good play call. A little bit low. Definitely a ball that the receiver could have made a play on, though, as well.
That makes it 3rd and 4. Anderson drops back far, throws the ball, gets it up to the 50. We got a flag on the play.
Yeah. That's going to be offensive lineman downfield, I'm going to imagine. Number 70 was pretty far down there.
It was caught at the 52. Good job, Andy. You called it. That is on the Marble Falls Mustangs. That is going to make it 3rd and long. Andy, what happened last time Marble Falls had that 3rd and 19? Do you remember that?
I do. I remember Hudson Sailors not going down.
I don't think we're asking what's in the playbook for this. I'm sure Marble Falls has a plan. In fact, they're looking over to the sideline now. Now, Marble Falls has 2 backs in the backfield. Let's see if somebody goes into motion. 2 receivers up top, 1 on the bottom, and Anderson drops back for the pass. He's looking. A lot of scrambling, gets the pass off, way short of the first down. Right at the 45, the Lion defender knocks him out of bounds. We got another injury time out on the field. It is on the near sideline. Can't see what's going on down there. But again, we have a 4th down. 6:32 on the clock.
Is that a 4th and 6 that I see?
Yep, a 4th and 6. Ball's at the 44. We're in the 4th quarter. Lions 35. Mustangs 22. Marble Falls has the ball. Anderson has 1 back. He rolls to his right, looking downfield, delivers the pass. The pass was a little short of the intended receiver, who, by the way, had white jerseys all around him. That was a 4th down.
You know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing that big Lockhart defensive line seems to be not giving us a whole lot of time to throw the ball.
They are definitely shooting the gaps. But you know, we went for it. Yeah, we had to go for it, but the Marble Falls defense has been keeping us in this game. Scores are attainable. Time to get our offense on the field. We can do it. This defense can do it. They've done it. All game kept us in the game. But, yes, that's a turnover. Lions have the ball at the Marble Falls 45, 1st and 10. There's a snap. It's a handoff, and that handoff was met immediately. I can't see who penetrated for Marble Falls, but they penetrated, and the Lions are dropped for a loss. They
Looked like number 40, Mario Cortez.
Good job, Mario. That was a drop of 2. Looks like we might have another player down. This could be another cramp. In fact, he gets up. He didn't wait for anybody to come out and get him. He got up and he's jumping off the field. We'll get him looked at. There's a conversation going on right now out there with the officials. And one of our coaches, I think that might be Coach Timmerman out there.
Ball spotted at the 47-yard line.
If you're following along with the Dallas Cowboys, the score right now is 24-24. A little bit closer than this. 2nd down and 13 for the Lions. They go for a pass towards the far sideline. It is caught at the line of scrimmage, and a pickup of about 7, I believe.
Yet again, we have a Mustang defensive lineman hitting the quarterback just 2nd after the pass. That was number 4, Jesus Rodriguez, with a great play on the quarterback, but unfortunately completed pass.
It's a completed pass, 3rd and 7, Lockhart. We need a Mustang stop right here, Andy. There's the snap. Quarterback drops back for Lockhart. He's looking big downfield, and there's a wide open receiver on the near sideline who hauls the ball in for a touchdown in the end zone. That is not what Marble Falls was ready for.
That's a tough one.
That is a 41-yard pass for a touchdown. The score just climbed to 41. Lockhart, Marble Falls 22. 4:43 left in the game. Lockhart is lining up for the extra point. There's the snap. The kick is up. Looks like it's right down the middle. The officials said it's a good kick. That makes it Mustangs 22, Lions 42. 22-42. 4:43 left in the game. Well, I guess this is a good time. What do we do, Andy? Which way do we go?
Well, one way to look at this, Kirk, is this is an opportunity for us to try out the big play section of our playbook.
I like how you think.
I think we're going to have to come out firing. I think this takes off some of the run plays that have been working so well for us. I think it's going to have to be. So far, what has worked really well for us against this Lockhart defense have been the middle screens to our running backs, Diego and Hudson, and then I think we're going to have to take some shots on the outside to like number 11, Greg Culver, and see if we can break away, because time is now becoming the number one opponent.
You're right. Now, something in our favor. I'm looking at the flags. The wind is still behind Marble Falls. You're listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Title sponsors of this broadcast is First United Bank, Pedernales Electric Cooperative, and IBC Bank. Lockhart kicks the ball. It bounces at the 10. Nobody touches it. Bounces out of bounds.
That's a great decision by the Mustang return man, because that's going to give us really great position, I believe.
It is going to be 1st and 10, Marble Falls. Right now, Coach Timmerman is meeting with the players. They're coming up with a plan again. I know I keep referring to it, but the wind is to their back. It's so much easier to throw a football if you're going to launch it downfield when the wind is in your back.
And that kick going out of bounds gave us a great starting field position.
Right at the 30, 1st and 10, Marble Falls football from their own 30. Again, the Lions 42, Mustangs 22. Marble Falls needs to get some points, and they need to get a good chunk pretty darn quick.
I'm thinking they're going to have to roll the pocket a bit, because number 99 on the Lockhart defensive line has been coming up the middle. So I'm thinking rolling pocket passes.
Lions have 4 backs. Marble Falls takes a snap. Gets the pass off. It was caught. I don't know if it was tiptoed in bounds. It looks like that may have been an incomplete pass. That's going to make it 2nd and 10. Again, yep, the ball is being placed right at the 30. 2nd and 10, Marble Falls. They don't even mess around with the huddle. They go right into formation. 2 receivers near side, 1 at the top. We got 1 back in the field. I'd like to see a snap quickly. That back goes into motion. And we're going to have a timeout. Marble Falls calls a timeout. 4:36 on the clock.
That was our first time out of the half.
We got some time we got some resources, right? We got some timeouts left if it comes to it. If we need to stop the clock moving forward. If Marble Falls offense can do something here, we get the defense on the field, a quick turnover.
I think we're definitely in the realm of the game where we score a touchdown, it's gonna be an onside kick kind of approach as well.
And they've done that twice so far. It's worked 1 of 2 times.
Which, it's probably a bit different in high school football, but the professional level, onside kick success rate's about 9%. So currently we're at 50%.
I know every time I see one that works in the NFL, I feel like I just won the lottery. All right, well, here we go. Speaking of winning the lottery, we need something right now. Come on, Mustang Nation. There's the snap. It is a pass to the near sideline. And a great cut by the receiver. He takes the ball all the way to the 52 of Lockhart. That is a first down, Marble Falls. I think we need to talk about the lottery a little bit more moving forward.
Diego Aguilar with another great play.
The offense gets up to that line really quick. Lions look a little discombobulated out there. Marble Falls splits 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Nobody in the backfield. And we might have another timeout. And I'm not sure by who, but we certainly have a... Lockhart calls a timeout.
Yes.
Yep. All right. You know, I'll take that timeout right now so we can come up with a plan. Again, the ball is at the the 48 of Lockhart. Marble Falls, 1st and 10. By the way, I'd love to see the 52-yard line out there. Could we mark one out?
That's a different game, Kurt.
That's a different game. Maybe it's the CFL. No, it's not even the CFL. Man, this is opening night of high school football. How lucky are we?
Blessed to be here, Kurt.
You already know what the score is here. I'm checking on scores around the league right now. 4th quarter, Burnett and Llano are tied at 31. Curious to see what happens there. Marble Falls is back. Now they got a really tight formation with only 2 receivers split far side. Tight end goes into motion. Now we got 3 up top. And our 1 back goes into motion. The pass is to the back in the backfield. It's, oh my goodness. You got to be kidding me. That is a pass from the back. I didn't see who it was, but all the way to the 10. Marble Falls touchdown. Hey, I think that timeout that Lockhart took.
Hey, we've got an injured player down.
We do have a player down. I really can't see who it is, but right now, the way things are, Marble Falls just picked up 6. It is 28-42. Again, coming off that Lockhart timeout. I think they call that a flea flicker for when that long pass, and that pass was in the air for about 45 yards, I would say.
It was a beautiful play design there, halfback pitch, and then Hudson Sailors, the halfback, threw the ball to a wide open receiver, touchdown. And I believe the receiver was Diego.
And when we say wide open, there wasn't anybody within 20 yards of him. Every defender on that Lion team was ready to go get that first pass in the backfield, about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. We have a player down still, so we're going to go ahead and take a break, send it back to the studio. You are listening to KBEY 103.9.
All right, we're back, and the injured player, Hudson Sailors, has been helped off the field.
Yep, they got a team around Hudson,
Extra point.
and Marble Falls just kicked the extra point. Right now it is Mustangs 29
Mustangs 29.
and the Lions 42. We got a team looking there at Hudson, and of course we want Hudson to, we want everybody to be okay, but Hudson has just had a bang-up game. In fact, it was Hudson that threw that pass. Am I right, Andy?
That was correct, and he's been running the ball really well. I had no idea he could throw the ball well.
Especially that far. That was just a beautiful play. Look, we got a couple plays that we can refer to after this game. I want to watch some of these plays again. Marble Falls Mustangs have a lot to be proud of in this game so far. And look, I'm not talking like the game's almost over. We got 4 minutes, 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Mustangs are going out onto the field. They're going to kick the ball.
Down 13.
Down 13 from our right. They're kicking to our left. Lockhart is going to take the ball again with the wind in their face. The flags actually, it looks like the wind picked up a little bit more. The flags are a little bit more parallel to the ground.
And everybody is set up for an onside kick right here.
They absolutely are. In fact, Lockhart has nobody deep. Let's see what Marble Falls done. Again, they've done this a couple times already. It is an onside kick, and it is picked up cleanly by the Lions at the 45, their own 45.
They mixed it up a little bit. They done the little short, soft pop onside kicks for the first 2 times, and that one they tried to kick it real hard, and
right.
Lockhart was ready.
You know what that kick looked like? It looked like a golf shot of mine when I'm about 20 yards off the green. It was a worm burner.
Yes, it was. The shank that makes everybody in the cart dive for cover, right?
Yes. And if you got people watching you got to turn around with a red face and get ready for the ridicule. That's my golf game. I don't know about you, Andy.
Mine has had a fair share of those as well, Kirk.
All right, well, it's 1st and 10 again. The Lions are at their 45. They got 1 receiver top, 1 receiver to the bottom, 1 in the backfield. The back takes the handoff, right, and he gets maybe 1 yard. Marble Falls, good job. Right up the middle. The Mustang defenders were ready. That line is ready.
This is going to be a moment where they know what they're trying to do, we know what they're trying to do, and we're going to see who does it better.
And as we say that, my fear is we just got to contain the ends. Nobody turns the corner. Let's see what happens now. 2nd and 8. Lions. There's the snap, and it is a handoff. Almost brought down in the backfield, but he slips the tackle, and he turns the corner all the way down to the Marble Falls 27. That is a 1st down, Lions.
We were so close there.
We
I thought
were.
we had him.
I don't know if a hand touched him, but somebody flew right by him. So close. 1st and 10, Lockhart. That clock right now sits at 3:23 in the fourth quarter. Ball right now is at the 27 of the Mustangs. Lockhart looking to score again. They do a handoff in the backfield, run up the middle. Marble Falls stops him. Great job. The middle has been tight. It's been hard for Lockhart to get yards up the middle.
It has. That's definitely something our defense can build on, and going into week 2 and the weeks beyond, for sure.
No pickup, which brings up a 2nd and 8. Correction, 2nd and 14. Clock is counting down. It's winding down. 2:47. Lions get up to the line of scrimmage. They have several receivers out, but it's a handoff. I hear a whistle, but the play continues. And That was a turn the corner again towards the end. Marble Falls has struggled to contain the ends. That is a big pickup. That ball is all the way to the 10-yard line. First down, Lockhart. 2:32 left in this fourth quarter. Lockhart looking to put more points on the board. Marble Falls needs something big. We need a turnover.
Yes, we do.
Lions 42, Mustangs 29. Lockhart breaks from the huddle. I really thought they'd just bunch things up in the middle and just try to punch the ball, but they got 3 receivers near end. They do a handoff, and the run is right up the middle, and the run is all the way to the 2-yard line.
23 Reese on the carry again for the Lions.
It's definitely a strategy where they say, hey, we want to spread you out with the threat of the pass to then open up the run a bit more.
Absolutely. You are so right, and that's exactly what we just saw. They've had so much success on the ends. They wait for us to adjust, and then they pivot. That takes us to the 2-minute warning. We're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio. You are listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Fourth quarter, just coming out of the 2-minute warning. Lockhart has the ball at 2, first and goal. It's a handoff. Mustangs penetrate the line. They get to the backfield, and they bring down the Lion runner.
I don't know who
for
was
a loss.
first there, but number 33 finished it off.
Well, anytime you can push them from the 2 to the 7, that's good.
Clayton Thompson with a great tackle there.
Yep, makes it third and goal. The ball is on the 7. The clock continues to tick down. It's 1:25 left in this fourth quarter. Game 1. Marble Falls Mustangs, Lockhart Lions. It's been a very entertaining game. There's a lot of good things we can say about this game. Let's see if we can say some better things here in the 1:09 left in the game. All right, well, Lockhart just took a delay of game. I don't think it's intentional because the quarterback's staring at the official saying, hey, what's up? But that's a 5-yard penalty. It moves them back to, I believe, where is that at? The ball is at the 12-yard line. For those of you following along with the Cowboys, well, we appreciate you listening to us, but the Cowboys just lost that preseason game. It's 27-24, but it's preseason. It's okay. There's the snap. Looks like that could have been an offsides by Marble Falls. Let's see. The pass goes into the end zone, and good defense by Marble Falls. Look, I saw the middle line of the Mustang defense jump, but I don't see anything on the field. Do you, Andy? I don't think there was a penalty.
I sure don't.
Going to bring up fourth down. It'd be fourth and goal.
That's going to be fourth down. Great play by our defensive backfield to get a stop there.
Pass was lofted to the corner. The defensive backs were ready for it.
I want to
Fourth and goal.
say it was Carlos Alvarez, number 10, that made the pass defense there.
1:01 left in the game. They go for a field goal. The kick is up. The kick is high, and the officials' arms go up. And that is a good field goal. That makes it 45 Lockhart Lions, and your Marble Falls Mustangs 29.
57 seconds to go
I just have a hard time being bummed. I mean, look, nobody wants to lose, but there's so many good things that have happened in this game. I think we have a lot to look forward to. Look, we still got, 57 seconds on the clock. Again, we're coming to the end of the fourth quarter. But Marble Falls has done a lot of good things in this game, Andy.
Yes, they have. We've had a first half that had a few turnovers in it, which even first half to second half, we've seen a really clean second half in terms of turnovers. And so there's already a lot to build on there. And a couple of those turnovers were turnovers on downs on the goal line, which could have been scores. And so this game, in its excitement, but also in reality, is a lot closer. We could be up 45-43 game kind of going into this.
We were
final
within
stretch.
7 at one point, and that was after being down by a lot. All right, Lockhart with the kick after their field goal is caught. The kick is caught at the 9. The runner brings it all the way up to the 28-yard line. The Marble Falls 28, 1st and 10. The clock right now is 53. However, I didn't see the clock move at all there. But right now the clock is showing 53 seconds left in this game.
And that was number 6, Gage Coleman, on the return.
Good job, Gage. That offense, and let me tell you, this is all about trying new things out. This is a good time to see what can we do. Who wants to step up? Who wants to make a name for themselves? We've already seen several people do that so far. That's not done. We got 53 seconds left in this game. Marble Falls lines up. It is a pass to the bottom. It is caught. We got some yards being run off there. Great job. That was caught by number 6. Who's number 6 there, Andy?
Gage Coleman.
Good job, Gage. Once again, 2 in a row for Gage. Marble Falls has the ball. That brought up a first down. Marble Falls has the ball at the 41, their own 41. 49 seconds left in the game. There's the snap. Anderson drops back for the pass. He's running to the far sideline, gets the pass off. Good catch. The pass was a little high. Not a first down, but it was a pickup of about 4 yards.
Number 11 on the catch, Greg Culver.
Yep, that was a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7. Ball's on the 44, and there's 41 seconds left in the game.
Let's finish strong here.
I would like that. Anderson drops back. He's looking long. He's rolling out to the side. He delivers the pass. I believe the pass was brought in on the far sideline. That is a first down. Yep, that pass was caught at the 42. The chains are being moved. The clock is down to 33 seconds.
Greg Culver again, number 11. Nice rollout there.
That was
had
nice.
Good protection.
And there was a little oomph on that pass. There's the snap. Once again, another rollout. Rollout to his weak side. Delivers the pass down to the near sideline. Ball is brought in by number 6.
Gage Coleman.
That was a pickup of 5. The pass was brought in at the 43, which makes it 2nd and 5. Scoreboard shows 2nd and 4. 19 seconds left on the clock.
Quarterback's taking what they're giving him. You can see the defensive backfield's backed off.
There's the snap. And once again, there's Gage. Gage catches it. Really doesn't pick up much, maybe 1 yard. It was a curl route. Ball is at the 38. And the clock just ran to 0. Mustang fans, we just wrapped up the first game of the season. Marble Falls put 29 points on the board. It was a good game. The problem is the Lions put up 45. There is so much good that came out of this game, though. We're going to talk about it when we come back. Marble Falls Mustangs, they're all on the sideline. They're all getting ready to to congratulate the Lockhart Lions on the far sideline. Everybody is in the line. The crowd here is cheering for the Mustangs, telling them a good game. Officials are walking off the field pretty quick. We're going to go ahead and send this back to the studio, and when we come back, Andy and I are going to talk a little bit and summarize what this game looked like to us. You are listening to Mustang Football on KBEY 103.9. Welcome back to Mustang Stadium. We just wrapped up the first game of the season, and though the score shows the Lions 45 and your Marble Falls Mustangs 29, Andy, we got a lot of good things to talk about.
We sure do. I think this is a great game, even though it was a loss for Coach Timmerman to build off of. A number of Mustangs had monster games, and everybody hustled. I immediately saw a big shift first half to second half. It seemed like there were some nerves first half. Some balls ended up on the ground, and that was already cleaned up second half. So excited to see what Coach Timmerman does going into game 2.
You know what we didn't see, Andy? We didn't see quit. We saw a lot of fight all the way down to the last minute. We saw some player names come out towards the end of the game that maybe we didn't see in the beginning of the game. We saw people stand up and say, jump on my back, I'm going to carry us forward. And a lot of forward progress we saw. Let's be mindful. Let's take us back to game 1 of the 2025 season for the Mustangs. It was a 48-0 road victory over Crockett. Just because we didn't lose doesn't mean, just because we didn't win doesn't mean that things are going downhill. We got a lot to look forward to, and I don't know. I'm really. I mean, I know I sound positive, and I know in this type of arena that's what you want from your people. But we really did see a lot of good things out there.
We did. I think some really standout players that we saw show up tonight. Obviously, our quarterback Crawford Maddox. He threw the ball on the dime, on the run a number of times. He was experiencing a lot of pressure from that Lockhart defensive line all evening. He really didn't have a lot of a comfortable pocket. So just seeing him make quick decisions, roll out, throw on the run, that was really great. Our running backs really showed up, Diego Aguilar and Hudson Sailors, and we're going to keep praying for Hudson Sailors, as I saw that he came out at the game towards the end of the game, and we're going to pray for him as he is recovering from whatever injury he's got. But both of them had standout games. Wide receivers, number of them caught balls, but some standouts were number 11, Greg Culver, and number 6, Gage Coleman. And then on the defensive side, Defensive line really stood out to me. How about you, Kirk?
Yeah, what really stands out to me, and I've said it several times, is the level of fight. I didn't see anybody roll over. Marble Falls went out there to play some football, and they played football from kickoff until the last tick of the clock. And I'm super proud of this team for doing that. You know, as during this game, I'm reminded of one thing, and this is something that Coach Timmerman said. He goes, the expectations now are I'm going to make that play. And we saw several players step up and say, I'm going to make that play. We mentioned his name several times, but Hudson's new this year to the team, and we certainly saw him step up and provide some great play. You mentioned the quarterback play. Really solid quarterback play. I feel like Anderson did a great job controlling the flow. Look, Lockhart had some good defensive fronts, and they made it challenging for us, but I think there's a lot that we can feel good about.
And I was going to add that pick six, that was a needed a play, got a play from Felix Padilla, just being at the right place at the right time, but you still got to catch the ball. You still got to run it back. He did an awesome job there.
Another thing Coach said last year, he said we had two pretty dynamic backs in Joaquin Aguilar and his brother Diego. And didn't we see a lot from Diego tonight?
We saw Diego in the backfield, and also we saw him catching slot passes and screens.
That's right.
And so I think what really stood out from our running back crew this year, both Hudson and Diego, was the versatility as well, that they were able to both run with authority to take the tough ball through the tackles, and also to catch the screen pass and make something out of it.
Well, as we head into week 2, Marble Falls is 0-1, week 2. Next Friday, it's a home game against Academy. Same place, same time. You can always stream this game on KBEY. Go to the KBEY radio station, the website there. The link is at the top of the page. Go to Daily Trib. The link is there. Go to Marble Falls Mustang Football on YouTube, and you can stream. You can see the video there. And thank gosh we got somebody here running the camera, and he did a great job. Dave from KBEY, we appreciate you, Dave, and certainly taking some of the weight off our shoulders of worrying about all this equipment. Again, if you remember, well, this is our first game that we have done, and I got to tell you, Andy, great job, man. I mean, I was nervous going into it, and you really kind of, as the game went on, I really appreciated your insight, and you really kind of brought a little comfort to what we're doing here.
This was a lot of fun. I'm glad to be with you, Kirk, and glad to be with you, Mustang Nation.
All right, well, on behalf of KBEY 103.9, and certainly I want to get another real quick plug in to our sponsors, but that would be IBC Bank, Pedernales Electric Cooperative, and First United Bank. None of this would be possible without them, but also equally important, I want to thank you, Mustang Nation. You showed up strong tonight. I suspect we're going to see you next week. Again, 7 days from now, Game 2. Marble Falls Mustang football right here on KBEY 103.9.